Are you a breeder looking to showcase your show pigs? With a Walton Webcasting Show Pig Shoot, we are your go-to video service for capturing the full picture of your show pigs. We specialize in providing top quality video services for breeders like you. Our skilled video team comes directly to your operation. You talk the pigs, we capture the video. Whether it's baby pigs, boars, gilts, or sows, we ensure that their unique features will shine through. With the power of our website and social media, your professionally recorded videos are streamed live, allowing potential customers from all over the country to view and appreciate the quality of your show pigs. We handle the technicalities so you can focus on what you do best, raising exceptional livestock. To schedule your next show pig shoot, call Rhonda at 765-431-7367. Welcome to the ultimate show on the track. Today we celebrate our premier partners, the driving force behind the livestock industry across the nation. Get ready to witness the power of partnership as our premier partners take to the asphalt. Green light and they're off. On the track we have our first partner, Laird Premium Blend Genetics from premiumblendgenetics.com. Next up, it's Beck's Hybrids from beckshybrids.com. And here comes Showright from showright.com. Coming around, we have Brad Howe Ford from bhiford.com. Right behind them, it's Biozyme from biozymeinc.com. And here comes First Farmers Bank and Trust from ffbt.com. And rounding out the racers, it's Kennedy Ventures from kennedyventuresok.com. On the track and in the ring, it's all about collaboration and teamwork. Join us in honoring our premier partners because together they're the driving force of the livestock industry.
For the Angus here at Cattleman's Congress in Oklahoma City. Before we get started here, I'll ask you to join me quick in a word of prayer, and then we'll have our national anthem. Father in heaven, thank you so much for today. We're grateful for the passion you've instilled in each one of us to work your land and work your cattle. We thank you for the freedom that we have to assemble in this country, and we thank you for gracing us to live here and enjoy it. We pray that you'd be with us this week and help us to learn something, take it back home, and make it better in our operation, and help us to tend your land better. Keep everybody safe as they travel in and as they travel home. We love you and we need you. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Now if you'll rise and remove cover, we'll have the national anthem. right, we'll get underway here. Have our first class come around here and get ready. It's been a good week here already in Oklahoma City. If you've been with us, we've had some great sales already, and yet we've got more sales to come. And this afternoon we'll have that bull sale. We'll start this morning with our pen of 3 heifers. The first in, we're going to have class 121 HA, be a single entry class from Grassy Valley Farm, and that will also be a division. And we'll follow that with 2 more classes, a division, and we'll have our champion drive for the females. As you come in, we've got our programs are on the bleachers down here on the end. We've got some bull sale catalogs also. And we're going to bring in that first class. And this is entry 14, class 121 HA. This will be from Grassy Valley. This is tag 4 in the ring now. The average weight for this entry here is 745. Next one in is tag 5. Tag 5 from Grassy Valley Farm. The average EPDs on this set of heifers, CED of 9, birth weight of minus 0.1, weaning weight 79, yearling weight 141, milk of 33, marbling 0.96, ribeye 0.82, $M of 74, $B of 186, $C of 315. Next heifer in is tag 6 from Grassy Valley Farm. Grassy Valley was founded in 1966 as a family-owned and operated seed stock operation, emphasizing the fundamentals of economic beef production. Calving ease, performance, maternal and end product traits are combined with structural integrity and longevity in the selection process. Primary focus is to produce environmentally adapted Angus bulls that meet the needs of commercial producers in their region. Got a sale, the 32nd annual sale at their farm, and it'll be April the 5th, 2025. They're going to sell 60 bulls and 70 female lots, and they've got these heifers will be on sale today at SC Online. That sale closes at 7 p.m. Central tonight. They invite you to come by the pens anytime today and visit with them, or come see them in the farm in Greenville, Tennessee. And this is Class 121 HA. This will be entry 14 from Grassy Valley Farm, Greenville, Tennessee. Average weight is 745. Again, this is entry 14 for Class 121 HA. This will be an automatic class winner and an automatic division winner for our heifer show, the late calf champion pen of 3 heifers. Congratulations then to Grassy Valley Farm. Give us a minute to reset, and we'll move on to Class 122 HA. Remind everyone of the activities later today at 12:30. The National Angus Bull Sale will have those bulls on display in the Super Barn Sale Arena. That sale will start at 2 o'clock. We invite everybody to come to the sale. Then at 3:45, we'll have our Angus Herdsman Social at the Cattleman's Bar. And then tomorrow, 8 a.m., the Super ROV Female Show will begin in the Jim Norick Arena.
Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex Popplewell and Tom Burke at the Oklahoma show today. We're here at the great event, and there lots of excitement going on at the Cattlemen's Congress. We're here broadcasting today the Carload and the Pen Show. Right now we're in the Pen Show. We've just completed the first class and the first division champion, and that was shown by Grassy Valley Farm in Tennessee. They had a total of 3 heifers. We're going to show the heifers first. And there's a pen. We had a pen of 3 heifers, so they won that class. And they were sired by Woodhill Endurance, GVF Sandman, and Woodhill Gold Strike. They were heifers that had really good performance. They were declared the winner. It was a unanimous decision, and so they are the division champions.
Now, Tom, we're going into this next division. Of course, that was an automatic class winner and a division winner by Grassy Valley with Lee Duckworth and his family. Congratulations to them. Now we're into this next class. This is a Class 121 HA. This is a pen of 3 heifers calved after January 1 of 2024.
Yes, and we got a heifer in the ring right now in her. And she would be, this would be known as entry number 15. Yeah, I've been outside this morning. It's extremely snowy, and the weather has somewhat diminished our crowd here this morning compared to other times. The other thing I want to call your attention today, Al and I are here at the Oklahoma show, and Kurt is up in South Dakota doing the Derplinger sale, which will happen today. He's up there with the Derflinger family up in the Black Hills of South Dakota. And it'd be a good event to go to find a really good set of bulls. A really good set of bulls up at the Derflingers in South Dakota. The sale will be held this afternoon.
Faith Livestock Market in Faith, South Dakota.
Yeah, and it's going to be in Faith. Yeah,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, Faith, the Livestock Market in western South Dakota.
Tom, we want to give a happy birthday shout out to our good friend Christian Graham today, that works at Voss Angus. Today's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Christian. I've known Christian all his life.
He's become a fine steward of Angus cattle, hasn't he?
Yes, he was born in eastern Iowa, and I might say his mother was a one-time Miss America.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Online sale tonight, closed at 7 p.m. Central on SC Online Sale.
A really nice set of heifers here from the Grassy Valley.
The bars, and they'd love to have you there in Greenwood, Tennessee. Come see them at the farm anytime.
Their dollar C's are all over. They're 326, 338, and 350, with an average of 338, and they have excellent ribeye measurements as well. Again, they're by Sterling Pacific, Kinetic Craftsman, and Woodhill Gold Strike is the sires of this pen of females.
Average EPDs for this pen, CED of 2, birth weight 2.4, weaning 95.
Our judges today, Al, are David Del Pardo. David Del Pardo is a native Californian that has migrated to the state of Nebraska, where he's now an entrenched Angus breeder. We have Brian Berrigree from the state of Montana and Jeremy Leister from Oklahoma. Those are the three people that are judging the show today. Again, David Del Pardo, Brian Berrigree, and Jeremy Leister are all judging here today. They're from Nebraska, Montana, and Oklahoma. So our order of showing will show first we'll show the heifers, and then of course the bulls will follow.
Yes. Tom, the pen show here gives a really good inside look at for the producers that maybe not necessarily live in the show world, but live in the real world where we have to have performance cattle to make everything go piece by piece and work out dollars and cents wise by pounds.
Yeah.
This adds a good advantage to that for people to come watch this show and do this, doesn't it?
If you remember the show yesterday, the judge made mention that the EPDs did not affect him a whole lot. Where today, this will be a big factor.
Yes, absolutely.
It'll be a big factor. And a beautiful pen of heifers, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They do look really, really good. You know, this pen show and this carload really started at the National Western in Denver, Colorado. In the 30s and 40s, there was a place called Rosemere Farms at Maquoketa, Iowa, that would bring a pen of bulls. And then the Pioneer Woodlawn Farms, L.B. Pierce family at Creston, Illinois. Would always bring a set of bulls. But prior to 1970, all they did to them was clip their heads. That's all they did is clip their heads and clip their tails. That's all that was done. Then in 1970, Ankeny Farms and Blackwatch, they were kind of two competing factions. They got showing a carload, and they started big-time fitting them.
Oh, sure.
So since basically the late 60s, early 1970s, cattle have been fitted in this show. But prior to that, they were not. They came just like they were. Right now, is this Oklahoma State we got in? Yes.
Yes, it is. Oklahoma State University.
Of course, they have a very good herd of cattle. And they have heifers today that are sired by, they have two heifers by SG Salvation and one by GB Fireball 672. These heifers are all February-born heifers. They're all February-born heifers. And they have a dollar C average of 359, a ribeye of 13.1. Oklahoma State has one of the good college herds in America. They've had them for years and years and years. And they've always been very high quality. Of course, that's the herd where the Empresses became even more famous than they were.
Next one in, exact.
Thank you, dear.
4154. Average EPDs for this pen of heifers. CED of 5, birth weight 2.6, weaning 94, yearly weight 159, milk 24, marbling 1.14, ribeye 0.84, $10.65, $1 B 189, $C 311. Teaching, research, extension, education, and marketing benefits.
Tom, we talk about Oklahoma State University. You never really hear of anybody as far as students that go to Oklahoma State University and graduate. You never hear anyone say that they had a bad experience there, that they're really agriculture orientated, aren't they?
Yes,
That they really try to get them educated and graduated.
They've had a long tenure. Of course, Glenn Bratcher was a big factor in that early work at Oklahoma State University. He laid some groundwork for that, and later he became the CEO of the American Angus Association, and he was the head of the department at Oklahoma State University for a number of years. And he was a famous judge, and he was a real good people person in bringing a lot of high-quality students to Oklahoma State. And then behind that, they've had a long line of really good people. And I've noticed when young people go to Oklahoma State to school, a lot of times they just stay there. And they either get a professional job or they become ranchers,
Yes.
or in some way tied to agriculture when they've been a part of the Oklahoma State program.
And as we know, we can never have enough youth in agriculture to remain in that field as time goes on.
That is for sure. We want to say we're glad to be working with Walton Webcasting today. Walton Webcasting, of course, has covered all the shows here, and it's a wonderful organization if you can't come to the show. So you can just tune in, and I've got a plan. If you're listening today and you have a neighbor or friend or relative that's not here, that's at home, why don't you give them a call and tell them to tune in Walton Webcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And they will really enjoy watching the pen show this morning because we really got a good, clear view of it. It's very, very good, and I think they would truly, truly enjoy it. So why don't you pick out some of your friends and neighbors, call them up and say, hey, I got good news. Walton Webcasting is bringing the pen show from the Cattle Congress in Oklahoma City, and you'll have a friend for life, a friend for life.
We'll even give some shout-outs to people that have birthdays or anniversaries today, too, won't we?
Yeah, and if you want to call in today and let us know how things are in your area, you're invited to do that. My number is 816-853-2697. And Al?
270-566-8822 if anybody wants to reach out to myself.
Let's write that down in case they didn't have a pencil. 816 for Tom. 816-853 2697.
And then myself, Alex Popwell, to be 270-566-8822.
So I tell you what, there's plenty of excitement happening here in Oklahoma City. We're now going to get ready for the placing of this pen. Now we got a 3-man system, and they'll put it up on the board. Each judge places the pen independently, and then they put it up on a board, and then they come up with a cumulative placing.
Yes.
Of how they. Okay.
While we're doing that, I'll explain the procedure of how we place these classes.
You want to tune him in so they can hear all that.
And their placings. For each class, there are 2 judges and a designated referee, which is designated on a rotating basis to establish a rotation to be used in the event that the other 2 judges' placings are not in agreement. The referee's ranking is then used to establish an official placing. So if you'll turn your attention to the screen, we've got some slides to demonstrate the ranking process. This is for demonstration only, obviously. We've got a fictional class, 121A. So we start by establishing first place. Looking at Judge A, his highest ranking entry is 13. Judge B's highest ranking entry is 14. There is no consensus, so we refer to the referee judge for a final placing. The referee judge has 13 over 14, so 13 is first. So we move on to second place. Judge A's highest ranking entry is 12. Judge B's highest ranking is 14. Again, there is no consensus, so we move to the referee to establish an official placing. The referee has 12 over 14. Entry 12 is second. For third, Judge A has entry 14 as his highest ranking entry. Judge B also has entry 14 as the highest ranking. There is a consensus, so 14 is third, and no need to consult the referee's placing. We move on to the final placing. We can see that Judges A and B agree on the final entry, and again, no need to consult. A referee placing 15 is fourth. So as they place the classes, that's the procedures we use to establish a ranking.
Unless you've done this several times, it can get a little bit confusing sometimes. But it's a system that seems to be quite successful in this pen show.
14, Grassy Valley Farm was a class winner and division winner of that late calf champion Pen of Creek. Right now we have class 122HA. It's tied up. We're working on the placings here. We'll have one more class and then division here on these females.
Yes, we're judging 122HA. It's a battle between Grassy Valley from Greenville, Tennessee, and Oklahoma State University at Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Each had 3 excellent heifers, Al.
Oh, they did, very much so, yes. And Tom, as I said earlier, giving the advantage to some of the more real-world performance guys that don't necessarily, have the heart for, doing anything in the show ring with show-bred cattle. But it gives you a better feel for cattle being in their natural state of being. When they're in this pen, they jerk the halters off of them. They get on the move sound in their own being. They're not being set up with a halter or a show stick. And that to me, that's always fun to watch when you can see them in their natural as they're on the move on their own free will.
And now you can't believe how it was prior to 1970 when they didn't fit them at all. All they did is clip their head and tails and let them go. And, of course, Woodlawn Farms at Creston, Illinois was always a big-time winner.
Oh, sure.
They're always a big winner. They did, and Rosemere Farms in Maquoketa, Iowa. And then they're in the Carload in that era, Dale Redding at Minotaur, Nebraska. He was a gentleman that owned an Ankeny bull, Anconian 3515, that was extremely competitive. And then he also owned a bull called Hecateer 99 that was sired by Dormax Brother 10th. He had been reserve champion at Chicago in 1960 to Ermiter of Haymount.
Sure.
And he was always very competitive in the Carload. In fact, he advertised he had a herd of 1,000 sisters.
Winning the class with entry 16 from Oklahoma State Purebred Beef Center. And second in class goes to entry 15 from Grassy Valley Farm. Let's give our exhibitors a round of applause here.
To Oklahoma State University on winning the class, and second to Grassy Valley Farm. And the placings. Okay, it was a split decision though. Judge Lessiter and Beargree went with lot 6, entry number 16. Yeah, we'll do that after a bit. We'll do that. Okay. And then Judge Del Porto went with Grassy Valley. Mm-hmm. And so it was 2-1, and so Oklahoma State wins in a split decision. Split decision. Lesker went with Oklahoma State, Del Porto with Grassy Valley, Beargree with Oklahoma State. And so 16, which is Oklahoma State, wins, and 15 is second for Grassy Valley. We're now moving on to
This will be class number 123HA.
and it comes to us from the Bear Mountain Ranch at Palisades, Nebraska. We have entries by Bear Mountain North Star, Bear Mountain Justice, and Bear Mountain North Star.
Average weight on this pin is 935. 935.
You know, Tom, we could say that as far as the state of Nebraska is concerned, Brian Stoller is one of the pioneer breeders in his family as far as Angus cattle in the state of Nebraska. Couldn't we say that,
Well, you
Tom?
got to remember, he moved in from California. He had a California, and he went from California up to Idaho. They purchased the Foot Angus herd up in Idaho, and then they moved to Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
There's been quite a bit of migration of California Angus breeders to Nebraska.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
4-2. 4-5-4-2.
Brian has got a very nice set of heifers, and they have an average IMF of 4.61, a ribeye of 11.7, and a $C of 316 on an average basis.
250 cows. They have a bull sale February the 6th, female sale.
And as we know, Tom, this $C in the Angus breed is getting more popular and demanding every day that goes by, isn't it?
Well, it really becomes the shining star when the auction begins.
Yes.
It's a very good sales tool in the auction arena. And it seems right now the higher the better, which is always a good, anything you can do to create a sales tool always is advantageous.
Very much so.
Brian was a very active junior. He had a daughter that was on the national junior board from Bear Mountain, and now he's got another young daughter, McKinley.
McKinley, yes.
That has some of those same desires as her sister. And I'm pleased to say that I've known both the girls since they were very, very young, and they're really special. They got the Angus gene.
If you ever get the Angus gene in your blood, Tom, it's hard to ever get rid of it, isn't it?
There's no cure for it. There is no known cure for a person with the Angus gene in their bloodstream.
32, marbling of 1.13, ribeye of 1.1, $M of 67, $B of 192, $C of 316.
You know, to get a pen of heifers together like that, it takes a lot of preparation. First of all, you got to get heifers that kind of look alike, and then you got to get heifers that have kind of the performance package that fits the demand for they're going to be looking for here at the show. Now they're bringing all three heifers back in for the judge to evaluate as a trio.
Uniformity would be the key word in this pen show for bulls and females too.
That
wouldn't
would
it,
be
Tom?
a real key, but also their individual performance would enter into it quite heavily. And Brian has got that figured out. Look how uniform they are.
Yes.
HA, this is entry 17, Bear Mountain Angus, Palisade, Nebraska. Average weight 935.
Again, Brian was a graduate of the junior program. There's McKinley. She's out helping today too.
About 250 cows. They'll invite you to the bull sale on February the 6th. Female sale the last Saturday in October. Find them back here in the barn.
McKinley's mother is also a real Angus enthusiast. You can go by Bear Mountain, and she's usually out helping.
Tiffany would be what we call at the Hall of Fame a blue hen in the Angus
She'd
breed.
be a blue
wouldn't we,
hen.
Tom?
She's got the Angus gene, and she loves Angus cattle. And by the way, she has a doctorate degree and teaches at a university.
Tiffany does.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
She is Dr. Tiffany Stoller, a wonderful person. Okay, they've evaluated the Bear Mountain. Now we're going to bring in the pen from the Cunningham Ranch at Amber, Oklahoma. And we have two heifers by Keneally Commerce and one by EXAR Vanguard. So we're going to bring in 3 really nice heifers, one at a time, from the Cunningham Ranch at Amber, Oklahoma.
Now is entry 18 from Cunningham Ranch, Amber, Oklahoma.
You know, yesterday we had really a great female show. I would say there was every bit of 200 head, and the judge did a fantastic job. I thought he was really on target yesterday, as he always is, but he really, really did. Blake Bloomberg did an extremely, extremely good job in placing the heifers in the show yesterday.
And you know, that was no easy task yesterday either, Tom. That was.
I bet he slept good last night. I wonder how many miles he walked yesterday.
Oh, it's untelling.
You know, the ground was pretty soft, and he wouldn't exactly be a lightweight, so he sunk in pretty good.
Well, yeah, and then it wore a pair of boots on top of that, and then not getting to sit down. Yeah, it's a very tiresome job at the end of the day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure he rested well last night. But he sure had a lot of great females to select from. Of course, we're going to see most of those females again tomorrow. You know, Al, we're going to be right back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock for the Super ROV female show.
Yep.
Average EPDs for this set, heifers, CED of 3.
And if we thought the junior show was competitive, the open show is going to be that much competitive, if not more.
Yeah, but basically, many of the same heifers will be back for a second appearance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
As I call it, some of them will want to redeem themselves from the first time out. And that usually is the case, because different judges like different things, and there's always room for change. But we really have a nice pen of heifers here from the Cunningham Ranch. That is really a broody looking female right there. And these are all January born heifers. January born heifers. They're just now 1 year of age. Look at the growth and performance Angus cattle have today.
Since the Angus breed has been here for the last 152 years, Tom, we can honestly say that we've come leaps and bounds compared to where we started.
Yeah, it's been terrific. Of course, yesterday I made reference to the fact that the first Angus cattle came here in 1873. Think about that. And then 10 years later, in 1883, the American Angus Association was formed. The first meeting was in Chicago, Illinois, and the first American Angus Association office was in Independence, Missouri, which is just outside of Kansas City, as well as being the home of United States President Harry S. Truman. And Charles Gudgel was the first secretary. And if you go to Independence today, there's still a Gudgel Street. There's a Gudgel Street in Independence, Missouri, named after our first CEO of the American Angus Association, the job that Mark McCulley holds today.
Yes.
Again, this will be entry 18 from Cunningham Ranch in Amber, Oklahoma. Average weight 1059.
Pretty good weight on these heifers, 1059 average weight, and they're just now in that yearling stage. But another very uniform group of heifers.
Don't you like how deep those heifers look, Tom?
They are really deep-bodied. And, of course, they are sired by Keneally Commerce, 2 of them, and one by the EXAR Vanguard. Al, let's just check and see how they're bred on the bottom side. Let's bring up a pedigree. Let's see if I can. Here's the number. You got that?
If it'll pull up, it may. I don't have very good service.
Let's do that first heifer. 2 of them are sired by the Keneally Commerce, a bull that was kind of a stall made of Craftsman, if you'll remember.
These guys won't get set up.
You know, Craftsman led the breed for registrations this year. Did it come up?
Can't get it to load right now. I'll try to get here in a few minutes.
Do you suppose it's the building?
Yeah, it's the Wi-Fi connection, just the metal building. Oh,
here we
Internet connection.
They got the information posted up now from Bear Mountain and Cunningham Ranch. Checking the performance data on these heifers. They're both very, very good performance-wise. Of course, you know, this selection probably started the day they were born.
Here, we're going to introduce some of our judges today. This is Mr. David Del Porto. David is a fourth-generation cow-calf operator. Purchased his first registered Angus heifer when he was 8. David and his wife Janine own and operate Del Porto Livestock in Anselmo, Nebraska, and Oakley, California, with the help of their youngest son, Dawson. Del Portos are seed stock producers, run a commercial herd in the foothills of Mount Diablo, California, I think, and they will be hosting their bull sale with Rancho Casino. They have a fall female sale in Nebraska, sell some show heifers and performance heifers. David is a past president of the American Angus Association, California Angus, the Contra Costa Cattlemen's Association. He enjoys giving back to the industry, and that's brought him so much happiness and life lessons. Let's give David a big round of applause for being with us here today.
So now we are awaiting the final results for Class 123 HA. That is entry number 17 from Bear Mountain Angus and entry number 18 from Cunningham Ranch.
I just wanted to insert here that this introduced David Del Porto. His wife is also a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines.
Okay.
Brian Barrigree of Absaroki, Montana. I'm sure I said that right. He's the owner of Barrigree Cattle Company, raised registered Angus cattle. His son Zane and daughter Livy are involved in their operation. He's judged several breeds into North American at the National Western, Kansas City, Fort Worth, and state fairs across the country. And he has an annual bull sale in the spring. Let's give Mr. Brian Barrigree a round of applause. Thank him for being with us today. Final judge introduced Mr. Jeremy Leeser and his wife, Summer, and daughters Avery and Georgia reside in Fairmont, Oklahoma. Jeremy was a member of the 2010 National Champion Livestock Judging Team at Oklahoma State University. Upon obtaining his bachelor's degree at OSU, he went to work for OSU Purebred Beef Center for 10 years. Jeremy joined Pollard Farms, a progressive Angus operation located in Waukomis, Oklahoma at Pollard Farms. They have a bull sale in March and a production female sale in September. Jeremy's responsible for daily management, sale prep, and marketing. Jeremy wants to thank the Angus Association, Dr. Pollard, and breeders for giving him the chance to evaluate the Penn and Carload show. Let's give Jeremy a round of applause there.
Okay, we've had our judges introduced, and they're out meditating now on the Bear Mountain and the Cunningham Ranch consignment, or entries, I should say, here in the Cattle Congress Penn Heifer Show. Both pens of heifers have excellent performance data, very ribeye measurements, both of over 11 square inches. IMF, very strong. Their scrotals are strong. Just a really complete set of heifers in this division. And as soon as they flash this up, we'll have the placings. All these heifers were born all 6 heifers were born the month of January. They're all just now preparing to celebrate their first birthday.
And that's phenomenal for those heifers to be weighing as much as they are, just to be right now celebrating their first birthday, Tom, as
they're
yearlings.
really doing well.
Also, Tom, talking about birthdays and anniversaries and that sort of thing, we also want to give a birthday wish to one of our past fellow junior board members, Lainey LaBeouf from Louisiana. She had a birthday 2 days ago. I just found that out. Yeah.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
And she's a fine girl. I knew her when she was on the National Junior Angus board.
Yes. Yeah. She's well on her way to being
for Class 123 HA. In first place goes the entry 18, Cunningham Ranch of Amber, Oklahoma. And second place goes to entry 17, Bear Mountain, Angus, Palisade, Nebraska. Let's give our exhibitors a round of applause here.
We have another split decision. Del Porto went with the entry number 18, Cunningham. Bear Gree went with Bear Mountain. And Leicester went with Cunningham. So it's a split decision, but the entry number 18 from Cunningham Ranch wins, and Bear Mountain is second.
Yes.
So again, two judges rank the first place pin belonging to the Cunninghams, and one judge goes with Bear Mountain.
You know, it's one of those type of things, Tom. You could almost flip a coin as to which one of those heifers you wanted to use, or those pins of heifers you wanted to use first and second. That they were that close.
Yeah,
now move in now for contention for this division. First is our class winner from 122 HA, pin of 3 heifers. It's entry 16 from Oklahoma State University.
And so
the average weight on this set of heifers is 1029.
So now Oklahoma State is going to go head-to-head with Cunningham Ranch. It's an Oklahoma battle as they go head-to-head for the division championship. These are the heifers owned by Oklahoma State that just came in.
Yes.
They have the assistance of Mark Johnson today. Mark is an Oklahoman that was just recently elected to the board of directors of the American Angus Association. So congratulations to Mark.
Oklahoma State runs 250 mature cows, 60 Angus, Semitol, Angus, Hereford facility offers teaching, research, extension, education, and marketing benefits to the students at OSU in the beef industry. I'll invite you to the Cowboy Classic this year, April the 6th. Sells Angus, Hereford, Semitol, Angus females and bulls.
You know, Oklahoma State, anytime they ever participate in a show or sale of any type and kind, Tom, they always bring the best of their best, don't they?
They always do very well. And of course, Mark was in charge of that. And by the way, he also headed up the nomination for Gerald Callahan into the prestigious Saddle and Sirloin Portrait Gallery, which was very successful for Mr. Callahan.
Yes.
And that happened just a year ago.
On this pin of heifers, a CED of 5, birth weight 2.6, weaning weight of 94, yearly weight 159, milk of 24, average marbling of 1.14, ribeye of 0.84, dollar M of 65, dollar B of 189, dollar C 311.
Another key factor at Oklahoma State University over the years was Clint Rusk. He did a great job in recruiting students and bringing a lot of really good students to the facility.
Oh, absolutely he did, yes.
Then we want to forget Dr. Jim Hillier. Dr. Hillier was killed in an accident, but he was really a strong livestock person that really laid a strong foundation for animals at Oklahoma State.
In Amber, Oklahoma, family owned and operated, they run a focus on raising performance Angus and strive to be the leading edge of Angus genetics.
Well, they're feeling good, aren't they?
Well, it's not that many, or not that often, that you see a real cool, crisp morning in Oklahoma like this. I guess these cattle are all feeling good, Tom.
Yeah, and they've been tied up, and they're glad to be able to get out and run around.
Birth weight 3.8, weaning weight 97, yearling weight 166, milk 25, marbling, .48, ribeye, .88, $M 66, $B 160.
So now we're doing, this is the division, Tom, for those yearling open heifers is what we're doing right now,
Yeah,
the class winners.
These are really deep-bodied. We were going to check and see, is your internet thing up yet? I was just kind of, those are really some deep-bodied, easy-fleshing heifers. So it's an Oklahoma battle with the Oklahoma State heifers averaging 10.29 as a group on current weight, and the Cunningham heifers averaging, let's see, they averaged 1,066. Still acting up?
Still acting up. It just, this building, it just won't hardly connect to internet.
Earlier in the morning, we selected a late calf champion pin 3 heifers that went to entry 14 from Grassy Valley Farm in Greenville, Tennessee. They will join whoever wins this division for a champion drive as soon as we name some champions here.
I believe this is the last. As soon as we did complete this, we'll select our grand champion pin. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. As soon as. Yeah, we're going to do this, and then our grand champion pin of heifers. It'll be Grassy Valley taking on whoever wins this division.
Tom, we've already mentioned this briefly, but it takes a lot of work bringing these pins of 3, and sometimes if they do a pin of 5 like they do in Denver, a carload of 10, there's just so much work, and a lot of leg work, and a lot of time and money tied up in these.
A lot of people think it takes one person per animal.
It does, really, it does.
It probably takes about a person per animal if you're going to get everything just the way it should be. Now that they've looked them over, they've got them outside the pen, and they're lined up, and the judges are evaluating both sets of heifers. And they're standing side by side, and they're making their final decision. Will it be Oklahoma State University, or will it be the Cunningham Ranch? That's the big question. We had a very good bull show on Thursday.
Wednesday.
Excuse me, that was Wednesday, wasn't it? The grand champion bull came from the Searchbaugh family in Ohio. He was a junior champion in the show, and he ended up being the grand champion. And the reserve grand champion was bred by the Ward family in Plattsburgh, Missouri.
And congratulations to the Ward family on their very successful production sale they had back in November.
They
grossed
did.
over $500,000.
Yes, they had a wonderful auction. And the other thing is, the reserve champion bull, they had sold him already.
Oh, they had?
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
So
okay.
he has a new home. And as I always say, the best bull is a
Sold bull.
sold bull.
Yep.
We never want to forget that. The best bull is a sold bull.
That was awful nice last night whenever we, before we left the fairgrounds, Tom, we got to see Miss Lily Jeffries here at the fairgrounds. She's a current Oklahoma State University student. She was here last night. You've done their sales at Buckner and Jeffries Angus Opportunity for, this will be 36 years.
Yeah, and she is really a nice girl. Her dad, Tim, and her grandfather, Keith.
Yep.
And Kentucky's oldest herd.
Yeah.
And Kentucky's longest ongoing sale.
And even her great-grandfather, which would have been Mr. Buckner. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Buckner. He sure would. And so they're really a pioneer Angus family going back generation after generation. And then we don't want to forget Troy, the brother.
Yeah, Troy and Todd both.
Todd
Yeah.
both. Todd and Tim are both past presidents of the Kentucky Angus Association.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if Troy's going to make a run at it.
I don't know. He's yet to tell me if he's going to do that. So that might be in the future
So
plans.
that would be a threesome, you know?
Yes. we also don't want to forget, Tom, this afternoon at 2 o'clock is the National Angus Bull Sale, sponsored by the American Angus Association.
Yeah, a nice set of bulls, too. A really good set of Angus bulls. There's about 40 of them. This is really taking...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're in. Your division champion goes to entry 16 from Oklahoma State University. Give them a round of applause for that division championship. And now moving into contention for reserve will be entry 15 from Grassy Valley Farms, Greenville, Tennessee.
Well, what do you think of those results, Tom?
So Oklahoma State has the grand champion pen of heifers.
Mm-hmm. And then Grassy Valley comes right in behind them there with reserve in that division.
And it's totally agreed across the board. They all went with Oklahoma State. It's a sweep.
Yep.
16, 16, 16. All three judges voted for Oklahoma State University. Now moving in, we have the pen of bulls. I believe they're from Bear Mountain. No, Grassy Valley. Excuse me, the Grassy Valley bulls.
Entry 15 from Grassy Valley Farm, Greenville, Tennessee. Average weight's 967.
So they were a first prize pen.
They were a class winner, yes.
Yeah, and they won their division.
Uh-huh.
They won their division.
Average EPDs on this entry: CED of 2, birth 2.4, weaning weight of 95, yearling weight 166, milk 28, marbling point 99, ribeye 1.12, dollar M of 84, dollar B of 195, dollar C 338.
These Grassy Valley heifers are sired by Sterling Pacific, Kennedy Craftsman, and Woodhill Goldstripe.
Invite you to their 32nd annual sale, Saturday, April 5th. They'll sell approximately 60 bulls and 70 female lots. And the females exhibited today will be offered this evening on SC Online Sales for the Grassy Valley Angus Cattleman's Elite BGS Show Heifer Sale, closed at 7 p.m. Central. I invite you to come visit the pens anytime today. Check these heifers out. You can find them on the internet at GrassyValleyAngus.com.
The Grassy Valley heifers are very uniform in kind. Very uniform. And a lot of great Angus character about their heads. See that? They really got that, what I call Aberdeen look.
That's right. That's right.
Of course, I always attach a lot of significance to an Aberdeen look.
A lot of the show heifer prospects nowadays, Tom, don't quite exactly have that look sometimes, do they?
Sometimes they can get a little square-headed. And I like those ones that got those real Aberdeen heads and those hairy buff, as I call buff ears.
Yep.
And really they're just blessed with Angus character. Well, they've checked out the Grassy Valley pen. Now we're getting ready for our overall grand champion. We'll have to admit the weather here in Oklahoma City is relatively chilly. If you go outside, it's I'd say it's probably about, my estimation would be it's about 25 degrees here in Oklahoma City.
Pretty chilly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and kind of a damp wind. You know, the heifer thing is relatively new here to the pen division. It's probably not been going over about 10 years, if that long. the Heifer pen thing, and it's really been a nice addition. It's really been a nice addition to the Carload bulls and the pen bull show, having a pen of heifers.
While our judges are making their selection, you remind everybody of the other Angus events going on later today. At 12:30, the National Angus Bull Sale will be on display in the Super Barn Sale Arena. Go through and check those bulls out. Lots of unique and interesting bulls from across the country. Then at 2 p.m., we'll have the National Angus Bull Sale.
Tom, I also want to say I just got a notification here. Today, January the 10th, is also Jace Dickerson's birthday, one of our past junior board members.
And he lives out in Kansas, and he was the top junior at the National Junior Show. He got more points than anybody else.
Yes,
So he was the super junior at the National Junior Show that was held this past July.
Don't you think our regional manager, Alex Tolbert's doing a fine job on the microphone doing the MC this morning?
Very good. He's doing very good. But he always does.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. His two little boys, his and Hannah's two little boys, are going to come up with the Angus gene too, don't you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think they're going to be possessed, because the good thing, they're double-bred Angus.
Yes, double-bred,
on both sides of their pedigree. They have
Elijah and Judah are their names.
They have good, strong Angus genes on being double-bred.
Yep.
And that's something to speak highly of, when they got those genes blending each other on both sides of the pedigree.
There's not much way to get out of that, is there, when you have it on both sides of your pedigree?
There's no escape. I bet a lot of people probably got up early to watch the show this morning. If you got any comments, you can call me at 816-853.
Results are in for our reserve division. It goes to entry number 18 of Cunningham Ranch, Amber, Oklahoma. Let's give those guys a round of applause there at Cunningham Ranch.
And again, it was a split decision. Beargree and Leicester going with the, let's see now. Yeah, it was a split decision with Del Porto, the referee, going the other way with pen 15 that belonged to
Cunningham Ranch.
The Cunningham Ranch. So it was a split decision.
No, Tom, as you were saying, if anyone wants to call in to us, they're more than welcome to call me or text me on my cell phone, text message preferably, 270-566-8822, or your number.
816-853-2697. And the text seemed to work pretty good the last 2 days, but whatever's comfortable for you, we're excited about.
Absolutely.
It's a day of happiness. Let's see, right now we have coming in, I think we're going to line up the ring right now. We brought in the Grassy Valley pen. And then we brought in the Oklahoma State pen.
Yes, we have, yeah.
So it'll be a head-on collision.
This will be our champion drive, the 2025 Cattlemen's Congress, pen of 3 heifers. From our first division, the late calf champion pen of 3, we have entry 14 from Grassy Valley Farm, Greenville, Tennessee. The average EPDs on that set of heifers, a CED of 9, birth weight negative 0.1, weaning weight of 79, yearling weight 141, milk 33, marbling 0.96, ribeye 0.82, dollar M is $74. $1 B 186, $1 C 315. Out of your next division, we have entry number 16 from Oklahoma State, in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The average EPDs on that set, CED of 5, birth weight 2.6, weaning weight 94, yearling weight 159, milk 24, marbling 1.14, ribeye of 0.84, $1 M of 65, $1 B of 189, and $1 C of 311.
Al, this is really interesting because in this lineup now, the judges can use the performance data however they feel. It's optional. They can either use it or not use it, or they can use part of it. And of course, they'll also evaluate the phenotype of the heifers. So it is really pretty interesting. I think it boils down to a judge's personal preference.
Yes, it does. Kind of like, well, again, tomato. It's your personal preference. What's one thing might be something someone else likes, and vice versa. And like you said, it really comes down to what just personal preference.
Whatever they feel is important to them.
I believe we could both agree and say that out of those 6 females that are out there in that ring right now that are showing, there's not a bad heifer out there at all, is there?
Oh, no, they're really powerhouses. They are really powerhouses. And this is now for the overall grand champion pen of 3 Angus females. Grassy Valley of Tennessee versus Oklahoma State University of Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'm going to call it a dog fight.
Well, you might be right, Tom. That might be a valid point. Tom, it's also interesting, not only judging the phenotype of these cattle.
Pleasure to be here with you today and be with Dave and Jeremy out here. We've had some awful good cattle already come through the ring here in the female section, and I think we can look at these EPDs, and these heifers are all kind of in line that we've seen all day. I think we're showing some real progress as a breed and things that we can use and take a look at. And then when we get the cattle out here, I think the cattle kind of fit. I guess I really appreciate the quality that we've got to look at today. And I think as we go forward in the future, we need to use all the tools, and I think that's what we did today. Thank you for the opportunity, the Angus Association and the Cattlemen's Congress. But we'll go out and we'll let them announce who the champion is.
For a winner. We've heard from one of our judges. The judge we heard from was Jeremy Leister from Oklahoma, state of Oklahoma. And we're going to find out who's going to have the grand champion pen of 3 heifers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, results are in, and our champion pen of 3 heifers for the 2025 Cattlemen's Congress goes to entry 16, Oklahoma State University.
University wins on a unanimous
big round of applause,
decision. They win on a unanimous decision.
Now moving into contention for that spot for reserve would be entry 18 from Cunningham Ranch, Amber, Oklahoma.
Yes, moving in now is the Cunningham Ranch from Amber, Oklahoma. They've got 2 Community Commerces and 1 EXAR Vanguard.
Tom, what I was going to say before we went into the break for the judge giving reasons there, it's also very interesting not only how to watch these classes go as they judge the phenotype of these animals, the bulls and females both, but how they also analyze the EPDs and the numbers and the genomics. It's kind of a 50-50, don't you think,
yeah,
comparing
it looks like
both of them?
They're sure not ignoring them. They're sure not ignoring them. I think they're taking them to heart.
This is entry 18 moving in for reserve contention. The average EPDs, CD of 3, birth weight 3.8, weaning weight 97, yearling weight 166, milk 25, marbling 0.48, ribeye 0.88, $M 66, $B of 163, $C
The pen that just came in from the Cunningham Ranch are really they're really deep-bodied heifers with a lot of weight per day of age. So, and they ended up being reserve in their division. And so they've now come in to challenge the Grassy Valleys. So this will be interesting. Now these heifers are all lined up, and we got Grassy Valley on the left and Cunningham on the right. These heifers kind of take on a different look and a different demeanor than the heifers in the show yesterday. The show heifers yesterday were really an exciting event. Unless you were there, you can't fathom what a powerful, powerful presentation it was. It was just, I called it deadly. It was no place for the faint-hearted to be. It was that competitive. We should have a placing here momentarily. The judges are completing their sports scorecard and then handing it in, and then a committee goes and evaluates it and then gives us the placing. So out here competing, we have daughters of EXAR Vanguard and two heifers by Kennedy Commerce from the Cunninghams. And from the Grassy Valley, we have a Sterling Pacific, a Kennedy Craftsman, and a Woodhill Gold Strike.
Results are in, and your reserve champion pin of 3 heifers for the 2025 Cattlemen's Congress goes to entry 18, Cunningham Ranch of Amber, Oklahoma. Let's give those guys a big round of applause.
So the Cunningham Ranch wins the reserve in, again, a split decision. A split decision. Leicester and Bear agree, voting for the Cunningham, and Del Porto going with Grassy Valley. So a split decision for the Reserve Grand Champion Award. And the Cunningham heifers have been declared the Reserve Grand Champion of the show. Really a nice, deep, thick, balanced group of heifers as they leave the ring. Now we are done with the female show, and we're going to advance now. I believe the next will be the Carload. And the Carloads, we have entries from Express Ranches in Yukon, Oklahoma, and the Deer Valley Farm in Fayetteville, Tennessee. We have 2 Carloads of bulls to be shown here today.
I'll leave Alex on too.
Okay. Well, Alex, welcome back, and while you were gone, we had some excitement happen.
Oh, we did?
We selected a reserve grand champion pen from Cunningham Ranch
Okay.
in Amber, Oklahoma. They had 2 Commerces and 1 Vanguard in the show. We're now getting ready for the Carload. That is our next event. They're going to take pictures right now of the champion females. And we've got Class 13A that belongs to the Express Ranches in Yukon, Oklahoma, and Class 13B owned by the Deer Valley Farm in Fayetteville, Tennessee.
Always 2 very competitive operations when it comes to the pen shows, isn't it?
Yes, these 2 go head to head year after year. You have to have 8 head in a carload here, and then usually you bring 1 alternate, and that's what they've done. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a intermission here while we wait to get the carload lined up and take the pictures of the champion heifers.
Tom, the pen show may last a little bit longer than what you anticipated. We've got quite a few entries as we look through the book here.
Yeah, there are quite a few, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's always good. That's always good. Now, you know, some people will enter and then not show as well.
That's true.
They bring them basically here to sell. And it's a good place to do that.
Selling is a key factor.
Entering in the show doesn't mean you have to show.
Exactly.
So that's another factor.
Not every horse that enters the Kentucky Derby shows up either, does it?
That's right. And we're going to have the same judges again. David Del Porto of Nebraska and California, Brian Bergery of Montana, and Jeremy Leister from Oklahoma will be the judges. We're still waiting. We haven't heard. It must be a little early. Yesterday we heard from a lot of people. Today we haven't heard from any yet.
Everybody's probably still out doing feeding chores and getting the sleep out of their eyes, you think, Tom?
Or trying to get tuned in for this great carload show. There's just 2 carloads, but it's very, very competitive. You know, tomorrow will be another really good female show. I'm predicting there will be about 200 head of females exhibited tomorrow. So if you're within the area, the show's going to get underway at 8 o'clock, January 11th, right here at the Cattleman's Congress in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Judges are Scott and Andrew Foster from
Niles, Michigan.
Niles, Michigan.
You know, we were looking over the facility. I don't think anybody realizes what a powerful, powerful facility this is. This is as good as you could have anywhere in the world.
And you know, Tom, the facilities here at Oklahoma State Fairgrounds here in Oklahoma City, they've been here for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And you know, the other thing I think is good, there's nobody heckling you at the gate when you drive in.
Very user-friendly.
And the other thing that really aggravates me is when they're threatening to tow cars at a show.
Yeah.
That seems to be one of the favorite things they like to do is always come up and say, we got some cars in the way. If you don't move them, we're going to tow them. And that I never liked that at all.
Well, my honest opinion, if you come to a cow show and don't have enough sense not to park your vehicle in a spot where you know it probably won't get towed in the way of people, you probably shouldn't be here in the first place, you know it?
Well.
But it's a good thing that a lot of people have had four-wheel drive this week here in Oklahoma City, hasn't it, Tom?
And I have four-wheel drive, and it really comes in handy. I used to didn't like it, but now I've kind of changed my mind. Did you see this nice John Deere tractor over here?
Yes, I do.
That is a nice one. It's a, what is it, it is really
I'll tell you what that is, Tom. That's very expensive green paint is what that is.
Yes, but it is also, you know, if you buy one and then you want to sell it, it has tremendous resale value.
Sure it does. Sure it does.
It really does. And I tell you what, that one looks like it's got all the bells and whistles. See the mirrors, and I bet there's a heater in there.
Oh, you know it is, yes.
And it really looks comfortable, doesn't it?
It does. Well, of course, personally, I'm a Kubota. Me and my family are Kubota people. We have 2 Kubotas back at home.
Have 2
Yep.
Kubotas.
Yeah.
Don't they make those in Japan?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm sure they don't make them in the United States. We don't make none of our own products around here, it seems like. But yeah, it's.
Did you see where President-elect Trump really was aggravated with John Deere?
I did see that.
For making their John Deeres in Mexico.
I did see that.
And all of a sudden, you notice John Deere started on a campaign talking about how their tractors are manufactured in the United States of America.
Maybe we need to go ask our dear Angus brother Eddie Seidenstricker whether or not they're made across the border or in the U.S.
Or ask Dr. Pollard.
Or Dr. Pollard, yeah. I forgot about him.
I'm sure this is one of his tractors right here.
Probably so.
I'm sure it is.
He may have drove it over here for the show, not even had to put it on a semi.
Look, it's got a 4-wheel drive. I mean, it's geared for work, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You know, Tom, I'm actually surprised now that we've got going. You look around, there's actually quite a few people showed up in attendance here for the Penn Show this morning, hasn't it?
Finally journeyed out.
Yes. I'm happy to report that for any Notre Dame football fans from the state of Indiana, last night you all are officially going to the college football national championship game on January 20th.
The Notre Dame school in Indiana.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish beat Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl, and now they're going to be playing for the national championship against either Texas or Ohio State. That game is played later tonight.
Was it close?
Oh, it was very close. It come right down to the last 8 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, 27-24. Notre Dame kicked a field goal and went ahead 3 points.
It really got close. Well, we're patiently waiting here.
I think we're about ready to get going. I see Brother Donnie Robertson and his crew walking over there with the bulls now.
Yeah, they're bringing them in. And this will really be interesting now. We've got this looks like the first pin in is going to be the Express Bulls, and they are sired by Basin Jameson. They got 4 sons of Jameson. They got a son of Vanguard, a son of True Balance, a son of Cover the Bases, and a son of Statesman, the Virginia Tech Bull.
Another bull that's on his way to rising to the top in the Angus breed, don't you think, Tom?
Yes, he's really had a good run. He has really been right there. Yeah, we're getting ready for this. This bull Carload thing is really going to be interesting. It is really going to be interesting. And these bulls have got pretty darn good EPs. I was just looking at the ribeye on these bulls, up to as high as 20 square inches of ribeye. The average on the pin from Express is, get this now, is 17.4. That's a lot of ribeye.
That's a lot, yes.
That is 17.4.
That's above average, wouldn't you say, Tom?
Oh, it's way above average. And, yeah, they've really got some impressive numbers, and they also got some very keen birth weight numbers. There'd be quite a few heifer bulls in this division. We're going to invite John. John, we're going to invite John Pfeiffer to make a few comments about the show today. John is a past president of the American Angus Association. Why don't you give him the headset? Okay. And I had the privilege and pleasure of serving on the board of directors with John Pfeiffer. John is the past president of the American Angus Association and has been really involved in the Oklahoma scene. His wife, I believe, is the secretary of the Oklahoma Angus Association. And John, tell us how life has been for you.
It's been very good. Things have been good. I don't get nearly as many telephone calls since I'm not president anymore because I don't seem to run into near as many angry people as we used to see at the time.
Okay.
But it has been good, and the cattle business is good. And if you don't enjoy the cattle business right now, you're never going to enjoy it.
No, you're not, are you?
That is
and
true.
I see you were sitting with a longtime friend of yours.
Mr. Clarence Fry.
Mr. Fry, I tell you what, you and him, how long do you think you go back?
Oh, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, you've been friends
Been friends, and actually my granddad would have given him his first show, or provided his first show heifer that he started showing way back in the 40s.
Now the Pfeiffers would have had a century herd, and they would have started when?
We started at statehood. Well, my great-granddad bought his first registered Angus bull in 1907. And we've been in business raising Angus cattle ever since that time.
Since and you know your very first sales, old Roy Johnson.
Yes.
From Missouri used to come over from Belton and sell them for your great-grandfather.
Yes, sir, he did. And one of the first sales that Ray Sims ever did, he came down with Roy Johnson, and Roy Johnson let Ray Sims do a few lots in our sale in that. Back when I was a little bitty kid when that happened.
Roy was selling a sale up in north central Missouri, and he stopped in at this farm sale and he heard Ray Sims. And he took him on board and tutored him, and he became a world famous auctioneer.
Yes.
He's probably the guy that would be responsible for bringing a lot of speed to auctions today that we still enjoy.
Yeah. So,
well, tell us about your breeding program at you had a real famous cow.
We were very fortunate. We sold the 7096 cow to Easy Angus, a Rita cow that had like 3 generations deep in our pedigree, and she was 3 generations deep with genomic testing when we sold her.
So, and you used the PAF prefix.
I used the PAF prefix.
Now, tell us about what she was by.
She was She was a prompter. Her mother, her great mother, was a prompter.
Yes.
And she was a prophet. So she was
by GAR Prophet.
She was by GAR Prophet, which had she had really good numbers, which made her kind of an exception to everything else at the time.
And did you like her as a young cow?
Yes. If you look at this, yes, I liked her as a young cow. In fact, when we sent them, after we'd bred in the spring and we sent them to the pasture, I told the whole family, I said, now put this cow and calf on the trailer back by themselves, because I said she's pretty good and she's got good numbers, and they all laughed at me.
Okay.
And I said, no, she's really good. And then after they all looked, after about 60 days later, they go, well, you really weren't lying. This cow really
Well, they should have been surprised because you judged this show once, didn't you?
Yes, I have. I had the chance to judge the first pin show that occurred here at Cattleman's Congress.
So you were the judge at the first. I remember when you did that.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Now, tell us, you have a son in politics.
Yes, sir, I do.
Tell us about what's happening with him.
Well, he is, and he's on his final term in the House of Representatives in Oklahoma.
What do you mean a final term?
Oklahoma has term limits.
Oh,
and
they do?
You can only serve 6 terms. So he's going for year 11 and 12, starting, they had organization this week. And so he'll be back, and then come next year at this time, or next year in May, he's either going to have to find some other office to run for, or he's going to have to go find a real job.
Okay.
But he's assistant majority floor leader, so he gets to set the agenda for what a lot of the Republican Party is going to do here in the state of Oklahoma, which I know is different than where you have.
Well, didn't the Pfeiffers used to be Democrats?
We were Democrats.
So you got rinsed in different water.
We got rinsed in different waters.
Yeah, because I know that your grandfather, I knew him, and he was a Democrat.
Yes, yeah. Well, if you go back and look, Oklahoma was a Democratic state upon one
Remember
time.
Robert S. Kerr?
Robert S. Kerr.
Senator Mahoney.
Yes, Senator Mahoney.
They were all in there.
And we had the speaker for a long time, the gentleman,
Carl Albert.
Carl Albert from Buck Tussle. So we were a Democratic state for a long time,
But I'd have to clear myself today, but I would be a Truman Democrat. I probably wouldn't be a modern day.
No,
I mean, it's pretty hard to be in fact, it's pretty hard to be a modern-day Democrat.
That's where Oklahoma kind of decided, and that's why things have changed here.
And what do you think your son is? What do you think? Is he got something in the back of his mind, like the state senate, or?
Well, you can't become a state senator, so he's going to have to run for a statewide office, and I think he may run for a statewide office.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Representative Lucas, that's our federal representative.
Frank Lucas. Isn't he from Walton?
He is actually from Roger Mill. He's out from Cheyenne, Oklahoma, out in Roger Mill.
He was chairman of the House Agriculture Committee at one time.
Yes, sir, he was. Yes, sir, he was. So, and that he's friends with Hose, and if he retires, he might even run for that someday.
For a U.S. Congress.
For
seat.
U.S. Congress,
Well, he'd have a good rural pedigree.
He would, and that's where we live, and that's what we want. And so, people tell me he does a good job, and that's the most important thing that we can have.
Not to bring up something bad, but the bomber at Oklahoma City, he was captured kind of near your place, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. He would have been captured like 18 miles to the north of us in the little town of Perry.
It's right up in that. Would it be the same county?
No, we'd be in another county, but we farm in both those counties because we live right on the county line there. So
okay.
The highway patrolman that arrested him would arrest his own mother if she was speeding.
Well, yeah, really.
So he picked a bad time to go through when that gentleman was on duty.
And didn't have his license on his car in the order, did he?
Nope.
Well, that was a cruel, cruel thing.
It was. Well,
was. John, it's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Well, it's good to talk to you.
It's been an honor.
All right.
And congratulations on your great term as president of the American Angus. You were treasurer and vice president, served 6 years on the board, gave 9 years of your life to us as Angus breeders, and we're darn proud of you.
Well, thank you. I think the Angus Association provided me a lot more than I did them, but I appreciate it.
You did a great job, and congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you, John. We're back now on the show, and we had an opportunity to talk to John Pfeiffer, a past president of the American Angus Association. We're into the Carload show, and bring us up to date, will you, Al?
Okay, well, this first class that's in the ring is brought to us by Express Ranches from right here close in Yukon, Oklahoma. This carload that's in the ring is class number 13A, and this is a carload of 8 junior bull calves that are calved after January 1, 2024. So they're just now coming on a year old, celebrating their first birthday, Tom.
I was noting they were calf mates, kind of born between January 2nd and January 11th. So they've all just having a birthday. They've had a birthday.
Yeah.
And isn't it exciting to see the growth of these cattle when you think they were just babies just 1 year ago today?
It's something to think. They, just think this time last year they were just hitting the ground and being licked off fresh out of the oven.
And we got so much goodness in the Angus breed today. It's just awesome. And you can see why good commercial cattlemen insist on Angus bulls.
Absolutely.
With the EPDs and the phenotype that we got to offer and the growth. You know, when you get right down to it, it's all about pounds. When you go in to sell them and having those good replacement heifers, I tell you what, it's pretty essential. But that is really a nice bull in the ring right now. And obviously he is sired by Basin Jameson.
Yes, yes.
You know, Jameson was a record-selling bull for the Basin herd in Hobson, Montana. Of course, the Basin herd is one of the pioneer herds. It was started by Jamie Stevenson. And I have the catalog when he went to a sale in Lewistown and bought his very first Angus cattle. He would have bought the great Chloe cow in that sale. And really, he was a pioneer breeder. And then he had 2 sons that were also Angus guys. And now it's in the 3rd and 4th generation that Stevenson Angus. Of course, it's divided into various divisions, but it's a power-packed Angus family.
Yes, very much so.
And they basically live in Hobson, Montana, I think. And then, of course, Keith is the past president of the American Angus Association, and now his son is a member of the board of directors of the American Angus Association. So it's been a great, great ride for the Stevenson family.
There's a long line of Stevensons that have been in the Angus business, Tom. There's about 3 or 4 different
And they
sectors
all go
of
back to Jamie. Of course, Jamie's wife was Jeanette, and she was a past president of the American Angus Auxiliary and one of the distinguished women of the auxiliary, and a wonderful woman. I had the opportunity to judge the cook-off twice with Jeanette Stevenson.
Twice?
Yep. So I knew her very. Look at the depth and look at the depth of this bull. Wow, look at him.
He is so deep, yes.
Isn't he something? He's got that herd sire look, hasn't he?
Hey, Dick. Okay, folks, once again, we're going through these bulls here of Express Ranches. This is pin number 7039, and they're about halfway through. I believe this is tag number 13. This is a RSA True Balance son that's coming in the ring right here. He's got exceptional numbers. Again, all these bulls have exceptional numbers. What's being presented to us here by Express Ranches. Most of these bulls are in the plus 300s, way up in the high 300s on their $C. Nothing quite gets to 400, but still yet very impressive and such a very deep, meaty set of bulls that we have right here. Now coming into the ring is going to be tag number 14. This is a Cover the Bases son, a bull that the Express Ranches has raised on their own. And again, of course, the more numbers that are in these classes as we go along in these entries, the longer it takes to put them through. We had just been doing 3 head to a class per entry the last go around in the females and those yearling female classes, but now we're getting into these bull carload divisions. Takes a little extra time. And now here comes a bull in the show ring with us right now. This is entry number 15. He is the own son of the Virginia Tech Statesman, another bull that's well on his way to hopefully being number 1 in registrations in the Angus breed in the next 2 to 3 years. He's well on his way to doing that. He comes to us with a $293 plus $C, 4.2 on an IMF ratio, 0.47 on rib, and rump circumference on a 39.0. Once again, numbers have been very impressive on these bulls so far that Express has brought to us in the pin show this morning. And then, of course, they have one alternate just in case, which they're not going to bring him in, and we'll go from there. So now they're going to bring all these bulls back in here with us in the ring right now that we're in this class, this entry number 13A. For the pin show bull, the pin bull show this morning of the Carloads of the junior bull calves born after January 1st of 2024. And we'll give an evaluation of these and evaluate them all at one time in the ring here, and then we'll come back and we'll do the next
January the 1st of 2024, and this is entry 19 from Express Angus Ranches here in Yukon, Oklahoma. These bulls will be automatic class winners and automatic division winners.
Okay, as we've already said once before, these bulls from Express, this is a single entry class. It's an automatic class winner and an automatic division winner. They're just overlooking these bulls again one at a time as they all walk together. It's amazing how good of a feel you get for a pen of bulls like this whenever you bring them in to the ring like this, and they're all uniform, walking together side by side, stride for stride. And to me, there's nothing, being in the livestock marketing business my entire life, grew up working in the livestock markets around home in Kentucky. To me, there's nothing that just makes everybody get so excited than when you bring a ring full of cattle in the sale ring all at the same time. In this case, a show ring, and I think it just generates a lot of excitement. So once again, class number 13A, single entry and an automatic division winner from Express Ranches. This was the carload of 8 junior bull calves born after January 1st of 2024. They will be automatic class winner and an automatic division winner as a single entry. Now we're going to go on to class number 13B. This is a carload of 8 yearling bulls calved after January 1st, 2023 now, not 2024. This is 2023. Again, this is going to be a single entry class from Deer Valley Farm in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Our good friend Jonathan Perry and all his crew and his daughter Allie Perry. It's kind of a coincidence. Jonathan Perry is our current president of the American Angus Association in St. Joseph, Missouri, and his daughter Allie is also on the National Junior Board of Directors for the American Angus Association Junior Association right now. So a lot of politics flowing through the Deer Valley Farm right now as we speak. So anyways, we're keeping it going right along here, and they'll start to put their bulls in here just in a few minutes. Deer Valley will.
Entry 19 was Express Angus Ranches, and then there'll be the automatic class winner, also be an automatic division winner. So we'll move on now to class 13B, carload of 8 yearling bulls calved after January the 1st. This is entry 20, Deer Valley Farm in Fayetteville, Tennessee. First bull you're going to see is 3891. Average weight for these bulls was 16.
And this first bull entering the ring right now for Deer Valley Farm's entry number 13B. This will be out of pen 7036. This is entry number 3891. He's an own son of the world famous Virginia Tech statesman that's making a lot of noise in the Angus breed right now.
Next bull in is 3658. Tag 3658.
And once again, we just keep bringing these bulls in one at a time at this point. All three of our judges give a single individual evaluation of each bull as they bring them in one at a time, and then after they finish the last one, they bring them all in together at the same time, and that's whenever we give the total evaluation of the bulls in the package pen all at once.
Next bull coming in is tag 3273. Tag 3273.
This bull coming in now is tag 3273. Another own son of Virginia Tech statesman. Half-brother of the first bull that walked in this morning.
Milk of 32. Marbling of .98.
We're also glad to have our executive CEO in here this morning of the American Angus Association, Mr. Mark McCulley. I've seen him all throughout the week here at Oklahoma City. He's here with us this morning. Also, our good friend Dick Beck is here with us this morning also. He's been up here in the crowd talking. He's one of the founders of Origin, one of the past members and cell managers of the American Angus Hall of Fame. Always good to see Dick, and a dear friend. Another thing we also take for granted sometimes here around ringside in the halter show and the pin show is our photographers. I think we've got about 3 official photographers this morning here in the Carload pin show that we have here for the Angus breed, and they've been doing a very good work taking pictures and photos around ringside, catching a lot of good memorable moments and snapshots, and I think that's, and also doing backdrop pictures as well as we talk about that. Something very, very notable is our good photographers, and sometimes their hard work does go unseen. So shout out to all of them.
Next in, tag 36108. Tag 36108. This is entry 20 from Deer Valley Farm in Fayetteville, Tennessee.
This will be entry number 4 coming in. This is tag number 36108, an own son of the world-famous Keneally Craftsman, who currently leads the breed in registrations in the American Angus Association. We're very happy with the progeny that he's put on the ground so far, and he's well on his way to making headway in the Angus Association very much as we speak right now.
Attached to a stout-made, robust individual who go out and do the work for customers. They invite you. November the 8th on 150 breeding age spring yearly bulls. They also have a sale in Florida in October.
It's going good, Tom. Glad you come back with us.
Should be tag 36147. Tag number is 36147.
This bull coming in the ring here now that they're analyzing is tag number 36147. Another own son of Keneally Craftsman. Tom, we were just talking about some of these own sons of Keneally Craftsman that are coming in the ring from Deer Valley Farm. Craftsman has really made his mark on the breed by leading the breed for registrations.
Yeah, and especially when he was less than 4 years of age. He really, he was the youngest bull in the breed ever to lead registrations.
Yes.
And of course, you know, that open AI started basically in early 1970s.
Yes. And again, where would we be today without AI service, Tom?
Yeah, as I was talking yesterday, you know, prior to the 70s, if you didn't own a bull, one of the 3 owners, you couldn't use him. You just could not use him AI. Now, if you wanted to take a cow over and breed her naturally, you could, but no AI on a bull that you did not own. And so that really changed during the OpenAI, and there was a tremendous battle over OpenAI. A lot of people thought it was going to destroy the bull market, and were really opposed to it. But as it turned out, it was just fine.
I don't think anybody today, Tom, would argue that AI destroys the bull market. If anything, it only makes it better. As
Makes
far
the
as
bulls better.
enhancing genetics.
I'd have to agree. You know, this Carload is really interesting, trying to get 8 bulls that kind of look alike and have this likable performance. I tell you what, it takes a lot of doing. And of course, the Express bulls won their division because there was only one entry, and there's only one entry in this division.
Yes.
And these are, of course, the fall bulls. And I thought the sires were interesting. Commerce and Craftsman, Statesman, Fireball, and Statesman. So quite a lineup. You know, when the pin was in here for Express, I was thinking about the founder of Express, Bob Funk.
Yeah.
What he's, you know, sometimes we forget the impact that he's had on the Angus breed. He, of course, you know, when you get right down to the line of succession, he was at the very top.
Oh, yeah.
He was at the very top. You know, he started out as a limousine breeder and then had all that he wanted and then became a very, very successful Angus breeder, being one of the largest recorders of Angus cattle. Did a lot for this Cattle Congress show. He's a member of the American Angus Heritage Foundation and just a strong businessman that had a great love and caring for Angus cattle once he discovered them.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, the interesting thing about it, and the same could be said for Deer Valley Farm that's exhibiting their carload of bulls right now. Express and Deer Valley both, when they first originally started, they were breeders of seat stock limousine cattle.
As I call it, recovering limousine breeders.
Yes, yeah.
But Bob Funk, of course, the founder of the famous Express Services, and a company that's really been successful. And I've always said, you know, I've had an opportunity to visit most Angus farms, and probably the current Express Ranch is probably the most beautiful Angus farm there's ever been in the history of the breed.
Now, where would you go to find another one like it?
Well, there was one in Oklahoma here once called Angus Valley, over at right outside of outside of Tulsa. That was really for its time was really a great place. But I think that as I think about it, I think that Express eclipses that. But Angus Valley at Tulsa was a beautiful, beautiful Angus farm, and as well as Shadow Isle in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Sure.
From Dr. Armin Hammer, was a very, very nice, beautiful place.
While it was in operation, Three Trees was a very nice operation, I've heard people say, down in Georgia.
Oh, it was beautiful, yes. It was very, very nice. Another pretty place is Montana Angus.
Yes.
Up near Kalispell, Montana. A very nice Angus farm. Ranch, I should say.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, they're finishing up with bringing the bulls in for one final go-around. All together, all of them walking side by side and stride for stride. So, again, that was an automatic class winner and an automatic division winner. So now we will go back in here and we'll pick the champion carload of the 8 yearling bulls as far as the ones that were just turning a year old. And then, of course, there's some in here that are 2 years old. Well, the yearling bulls were from Express. The 2-year-olds were from Deer Valley. So they'll pick the champion overall for that, and then we're going to go into class number 121. This will be the pen of 3 bulls that are calved after January of 2024. So again, these are the smaller classes of numbers.
Well, Al, the real race will be for Grand and Reserve of the Carload.
Absolutely.
Because they both have been declared winners of their division. And so the battle is going to be for the Grand and Reserve Grand Carload of bulls. It'll either be Express or it'll be Deer Valley. And of course, our judges today, David Del Porto native Californian that has migrated to Nebraska, where he has a wonderful operation. Brian Beargree, a longtime Montana Angus person, and Jeremy Leister from Oklahoma, true Oklahoman. So a lot of really excitement here as we get ready for our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion.
Jerry and his wife, Summer, and daughters Avery and Georgia reside in Fairmont, Oklahoma. He's a member of the 2010 National Championship Livestock Judging Team at Oklahoma State University. Upon graduation, he went on to work for the OSU Purebred Beef Cattle Center for 10 years. Then he joined Pollard Farms' Progressive Angus operation located in Wacomas, Oklahoma. At Pollard Farms, they have a bull sale and margin production.
You know, yesterday we talked about the Angus logos that are on barns around the country.
Brian, you want to
Thank you,
speak
Brian.
for a minute, Brian, on the bull sale? What do you want me to speak about? Well, you can talk about your bull sale coming up. Just
All right.
morning.
We have coming by to visit with us Brian Stoller and his daughter McKinley. And it's always good to see McKinley. We've been friends since you were a baby. And of course, Brian was born in California. He then migrated up to the state of Idaho, where they purchased the, remember the herd that you purchased, Brian?
Foot
EG,
acres.
EG Foot, EG and Patsy Foot.
Yep.
Foot acres, and you still have some of those families in your program. And then they picked up stakes and moved to Palisades, Nebraska, where they have a great operation in western Nebraska. Brian, tell us a little bit about Bear Mountain.
I guess Bear Mountain is a operation that started as a 4-H project back when I was 9 or 10. And after I got out of college, my parents and I bought foot acres up there, or my parents did, I guess, and we moved up there, and then sold that land and ended up coming to Nebraska in 2008.
It was a good move, wasn't it?
It was a very good move.
Tell me about your full brother, what he's doing these days.
My full brother, Scott, he is in the fair management business.
Is he still in Colorado?
He just resigned from that position. He was managing the state fair
In Colorado at Pueblo.
Yep, and he's kicking around. He's got a couple different job offers and trying to figure out which one he wants to move on
Do you
to.
think he'll stay in the fair management?
I believe so. He likes that.
Tell us a little bit about Bear Mountain North Star.
North Star would be a true North son out of a Justify daughter, which justifies another bull we raised. Just kind of a no holes kind of bull that's got a really good look. Nice set of EPDs, cavities, plenty of growth, good carcass. No extremes, but that's kind of how our program is. I just kind of want to keep everything right down the middle of the road, keep the cattle good. Super good footed bull, really long bodied with a good look to him.
Tell us when you first discovered him.
When I first
Yeah,
discovered
when you
him,
first discovered North Star and say, he may be what we were looking for.
well, I guess, as a baby, he always kind of had a cool look to him.
He did
And-
have a good look as a baby.
Yep. Was good from the get-go. His mother, she was a 2-year-old when she had him, but his grandmother, she was a cow that had always kind of been on my radar to flush. Just a really, really good cow family. So, those are the kind when they got a good look and the mother's good, I kind of move forward with.
Well, tell us about your daughter, Reagan. What is she doing these days?
Reagan, she is our older daughter, Tiffany, which she's at home taking care of the ranch. We need to applaud her.
Okay.
She's calving cows, taking care of everything. There's a kid helping her a little bit, but not a lot. But Reagan, which is our oldest daughter, she just graduated from grad school down here at OSU in Ag Communications, and now she's teaching at the college in Curtis.
Oh, the Curtis College, yeah.
Yep. So
Now, has she got a doctorate?
master's.
She has a
got her
master's.
master's.
Okay.
Started that job in August, and then she went and got married in October.
Okay.
And her and Dennis Kavanaugh, they bought a house there in McCook, and he's working there locally, and she's right there local, within 30 minutes of us. So they're
it's all
starting their life.
It's all good.
Yep.
And of course, your daughter was on the National Junior Angus board.
Yep.
And I know that McKinley, how old are you?
14.
She's 14 years old, and one day she's going to be on the National Junior Angus board. I can tell it already. She's got it on her mind. Well, Brian, it's been good talking to you. It's been a real pleasure. Wish you well.
It's humbling to be out here and asked to judge this show. I want to thank Cattlemen's Congress and the Angus Association for giving me the honor. What a way to start the bull show. Commend all the exhibitors and people that have put this together. Already seeing a lot of quality. It's an impressive from a performance standpoint, quality standpoint. I encourage everybody watching, go talk to these breeders and look through their hard work and commend them on a job well done. We all know that with the weather and the time commitment that this all takes, they need to sure enough be rewarded. And if you're here for the first time and you're thinking about bringing some cattle to Oklahoma City, I encourage you to do so. I think this is a really good marketing tool for your program, get you in front of a lot of people in the business. So I want to thank everybody for having me. It's been a pleasure to work with Brian and David. Really nice honor.
We just heard from Jeremy Leister from Oklahoma. And now we're going to get ready for our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Carloads. This is pretty exciting. Grand Champion Carload at the Cow Palace. And, of course, it's always good to have him in your sale.
Oh, absolutely. It's always wonderful, yes.
Yeah, it's always a great thing. And, of course, these bulls will all sell at auction.
And the 2025 Cattlemen's Congress champion Carload goes to entry number 19, Express Angus Ranches, Yukon, Oklahoma. Let's give Express a big round of applause there.
And they win.
And automatic reserve will be entry 20, Deer Valley Farm, Fayetteville, Tennessee.
And Express wins in a unanimous decision.
Yes.
That's very good. A unanimous decision. And reserve, of course, will be unanimous, and that'll go to the Deer Valley Farm in Tennessee. So, again, congratulations to Robert Funk, the owner of
Express Ranches.
Of Express Ranches, and for having the Grand Champion Carload of Bulls here at the Congress. And I might say a mighty impressive group of bulls.
Very impressive.
I was really awed by their depth of rib and capacity and the performance that they have in them. So really, really something special. And reserve went to Deer Valley, another really nice group of bulls. And so that completes our pin show. And, of course, they'll be taking pictures.
Well, not the pin show.
This
completes
carload.
the carload.
That completes
We've still
the
got
carload.
a few more classes to go.
Yeah, we got the pin bulls next. And when we get to the pin bulls now, we'll have to keep an eye because maybe they all will not participate.
Yes.
But you never know. We'll find out firsthand. Our first pin should be from V-Brock Angus Ranch in Cold Camp, Missouri.
This is Dr. Barry Pollard who's speaking on the behalf of John Deere right now, isn't it, Tom,
yes,
on the big screen?
That's him.
Yeah. Past president of the American Angus Association.
And the owner of Pollard Ranch.
Yes.
Right here in Oklahoma.
Pollard Farms, I think it is. It goes by Pollard Farms.
Pollard Farms,
yes,
okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we'll be looking for entry number 21 from V-Brock Angus in Cold Camp, Missouri.
And these bulls will be sired by Margin Call They're all brothers by Lentz Margin Call.
Yes.
They're a team of 3 brothers.
Tom, I was looking down through here whenever we get to them in a few minutes. Entry number 24 from Express Ranches, where they bring in a pen of 3. All 3 of those are Good Times sons. I'm curious to see what they look like when they walk in
I
here.
met our friend Bob Bielard out at Page, Nebraska. He's really an Angus disciple.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a guy up in years, but I tell you what, he follows his family. Those grandsons they've got the Angus gene. They've got the Angus gene, and he follows them, and he really is a really good grandfather. And I'm pleased to say he's been a long-time friend of mine. Of course, his grandsons are the Stagmeyer brothers, and they're all really involved in Angus cattle.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Very involved.
And they always got some good heifers to show, and it's always real good. Well, we're going to find out here when we get on with these pen bulls. It'll be interesting, because to have a pen, you got to have 3 bulls. So if you don't want to go the carload route, you can still participate with 3 bulls.
Well, Tom, the day and age we're living in, the cost of expense of everything that goes into coming to one of these shows with a carload, not everyone could quite exactly afford to bring a carload. It's just it's expensive, as we've talked about.
And you got to have a pretty good sized cow herd to get those 3 brothers that you need, or 3 bulls that fit.
Yeah, or even 8 to 10 if you're doing the carload.
Yeah, it's a challenge. We sit here and watch and take it for granted, but these guys have been plotting and planning a whole year.
Yes, they have. Well, and even the plotting and planning, Tom, that goes into when you're figuring out what to breed, which bull to AI the cows to, which matings you're going to do.
Yeah,
so some of this planning goes into advance, 2.5 years from
and trying to get your EPDs so they'll be acceptable.
Absolutely.
But I really do believe that this spring will be a landmark time for the Angus breed in the sale ring.
Absolutely.
I have that feel that these Angus bulls are really going to be in demand.
But Tom, it's going to take a whole lot to top last spring, though. There was not a bad sale anywhere in America last spring or this fall.
It'll take a lot, but I think Cattleman are up for it.
I think they are. I think so.
Just go to your local auction market and see livestock market and see what's going on, because I tell you what, it'll blow your hat off if you're not careful.
I never in my life thought I would see the day when a package or even a single lightweight heifer, not a bull, not a steer, but a lightweight heifer go through the auction market, through a sale ring on regular sale day, and bring over $3 a pound, Tom. And we're seeing that right now.
That is pretty significant, Al. Al, are your mother and dad tuned in today?
No.
They're not?
No. Dad would be out feeding cattle right now and tending to feeding chores and doing all that jazz. And Mom would probably, if they're having school, I'm not even sure if they're having school back in Kentucky with the weather, but she'd be in school right now.
So they'd be both in your native Kentucky?
Yes. Now, again, with all the bad weather we've had back east, they may not have even had school today. I'm not for sure. But it's been bad there, and it's been bad here, and I just can't escape it, Tom. I just can't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too pleasant in Missouri whenever we left there either, was it?
No, it was a little
Wednesday.
hostile.
Yes, it was.
A little hostile. My friend over here next to me, what are you eating there? It looks very good. Well, we're getting ready now for our pen show, and I'm getting pretty excited about it. I'm getting pretty stirred up.
Oh, yeah, the pen of 3. Yes, absolutely. Tom, we talked about the Grassy Valley females they had earlier. They've got a pen of 3 coming in here in a few minutes. They've been having sales for over 30 years at their operation. The Duckworth family, Dr. Lee and his wife, Lori Duckworth. Long-time Angus breeders themselves.
And they have a couple of craftsman sons.
Yes, they do.
That are
I
going
saw
to be
that.
coming in.
Yep.
We were talking the other day about the certified Angus beef logos that are on barns
Mm-hmm.
across the country. If you haven't seen one, be sure and go see one. I bet everybody has seen one somewhere.
Well, like I said yesterday, Tom, I'm still waiting to get mine. I'm on the waiting list.
And,
It'll
you know,
get
we're
there
so honored to
eventually.
have one at the American Angus Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the very first ones. There are 40 original barns that had the Angus logo. Now they've gone and put some more on. But, boy, they are really beautiful, and they're a real eye-opener when you go buy one.
Absolutely. Well, as we said yesterday, Tom, certified Angus beef has probably been the most influential advertising tool that the Angus breed has probably ever known in its existence.
Well, it's been a driving force when you think they sell certified Angus beef in 40-plus countries. It's available. You can buy it in 10,000 restaurants, plus all the supermarkets around that handle it. Right in Smithville, Missouri.
Absolutely.
We have a certified Angus beef store. Right now they're showing pictures of the Angus Foundation heifer that comes from the Pollard farm right here in Oklahoma. That'll be sold today at the bull sale with all the funding going to the Angus Foundation. She's really a pretty heifer, isn't she?
Oh, most definitely she is. Yes, absolutely. That's and you know what, Tom, the ones, and I know there's been many of them over the years that have donated a heifer to the foundation. But Tom, I tell you, I don't believe anyone that's ever donated a heifer to the Angus Foundation to be auctioned off like this when it's held in conjunction with, when it was at Denver or even here, they've never cut corners on the heifer. I believe the operations that have donated one, they've always picked by far one of the best heifers they could ever come up with.
Oh, there's no question about it. These heifers have been extremely superior from the standpoint of their kind. And that's a testimony to the generosity of our Angus family.
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I believe last year Kevin Yon and his family from South Carolina donated the heifer last year.
Yes.
They sure did. Yeah.
And you know, if you went to the annual meeting of the American Angus Association, you know our association is in great prosperity. As the financial statement read, that we have $92 million in assets at American Angus, which is pretty phenomenal for a nonprofit organization.
Absolutely it is, yes. Very phenomenal. And CAB has a lot to do with a lot of that too, don't they, Tom?
CAB has a lot. You know, we had over 300,000 registrations, which I think is very, very significant. Anytime you can, and you know, that was more than all other beef breeds combined in the United States of America. And I think that's a pretty significant number when you say we registered over 300,000 head of Angus cattle.
No other breed nationwide will ever register that many cattle in a year's time, will they, Tom?
No, they, at least in modern day times, it has not happened. Of course, one of the things that have added to that have been OpenAI and embryo transplant. It has been a pretty significant dimension in making our breed even bigger and stronger.
Sure it has. Sure it has.
You know, there's hardly a successful herd that doesn't do some AI work.
Well, I don't think there's none that don't have successful herds that don't AI.
Well, most of them do. I'll have to say this. Most of them have AI.
Embryo transfer has helped a lot of people too as well, if it's utilized correctly.
It has to be utilized correctly. Of course, a lot of times I always say this, and you know, the only qualification that a donor has to have is for her owner to declare her one. And so consequently, there's probably a lot of females that get that embryo transplant that's probably not cost effective.
I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure. I know that's happened before.
I'd like
Absolutely.
to think that's not true, but I've experienced it firsthand. And of course now, with different technologies, we got the sex semen, so that brings into play even another dimension.
Yes, yes. And, well, we even talked about this the other day. One home run hit where the stars aligned perfectly as far as flushing and embryo transfer and all that happens is with the Pebbles cow that the Ward brothers have had so much good success with. They bought from Express.
Yes.
She's produced over $1 million worth of income, hasn't she, Tom?
That's pretty good. And sure, she's by the Round Table bull.
Yep.
That's really been a good sire. You know, if we could have Miss America Angus come over here, we would interview her. Why don't you go? Would you go over and get her, Al? Listen, we got a little time right now, and she's available.
Okay, let me go see if I can find her.
She's right over there. She's coming right around. And it'd be good to talk to her. She was just crowned Miss America Angus at the North American International Livestock Show. And we're always glad to be with our friends at Walton Webcasting. Angus around the world. And this program goes around the world, doesn't it? If you're in Argentina, you can watch. If you're in Brazil, if you're in Moscow, you can watch. And if you're in our new 51st state, Canada, yeah, you can watch. Or our new acquisition in Greenland, or our another acquisition is the Panama Canal. We're tuned in to all those places. So we're around the world with this broadcast today on the Walton Webcasting. And the Walton Webcasting is out of the state of Indiana. They do a real service. Think about sitting in your rocker back home with the fireplace going, enjoying a nice meal, and watching the Angus show here at the Angus Congress. Life doesn't get any better. You know that? It just doesn't get any better than watching an Angus show from your easy chair. So again, we want to say thanks to Walton Webcasting for being a part of this, and appreciate that very, very much. Okay, we're gonna get momentarily. We're gonna have a interview with the reigning Miss America Angus. Okay, very good. She's What town is Walton Webcasting in? Indiana. Yeah, but the city. Okay, very. Okay, our judges have returned to the scene, and we're going to be working on the pen of bulls, the pen of three.
Now we'll move into our pen of three bulls. We'll start with entry number 21, V. Brock Angus Ranch from Cole Camp, Missouri. And the average weight for these bulls is 1021. 1021 is the average weight. Average scrotal circumference of 33.3. 33.3. And the first bull coming in is tag 4052.
And they're all brothers by the Lentz margin call. And they were all born within 5 days of each other from March 10th to March 15th from V. Brock Angus in Cole Camp, Missouri. For those of you that might wonder, Cole Camp is located just south of Sedalia on U.S. Highway 65. So that's for Cole Camp, Missouri. Of course, the V. Brocks are very serious Angus breeders. This would be the youngest pen of three bulls, the youngest pen of three bulls. And we're going to bring them all. We got the first one in the ring right now, and he has a ribeye of 13.5. And this is a pen of brothers. In this class, we have 5 entries. We have a B Brock entry. We have a Grassy Valley entry from Tennessee, York Farms entry from Illinois, an Express entry from Oklahoma, and an Oklahoma Purebred Center entry from Oklahoma. So we have 5 entries in this class. We're now bringing in the second B Brock bull. Again, sired by the margin call. He's feeling mighty good today. Decided to paw up a little of the bedding. You notice that all these bulls have been genomically tested. They've all been genomically tested. And again, a pen of brothers here in the ring. Again, here's a bull with a ribeye of 11.7. These are all March bulls, and they have an average weight of 1,021 pounds.
That's pretty phenomenal to be weighing over 1,000, at a year old, Tom, just now turning their birthdays.
Yeah.
This is entry 21, Livestock, Angus Ranch, Camp, Missouri. Class 121.
They're very uniform.
Well, as we said earlier, uniform is the key word in this pen show.
And there are 3 brothers.
Yep. All 3 by Lynn's margin.
Your thing is not working, is it? Your internet?
No.
No.
I've tried it about 4 times, and it still just wants to keep trying to load.
Okay, so our judges are taking the final view of this B Brock pen. And they're exiting the ring at this time. And we're getting ready for the Grassy Valley pen. And the Grassy Valley pen consists of 2 craftsmen and a game on. So again, 3 bulls, 2 of them are brothers. 2 of them are brothers, and they'll be bringing them in one at a time. These bulls have an average ribeye of 14.2.
Next in entry number 22, Grassy Valley Farm, Greenville, Tennessee. Bull's average weight was 11.19. 11.19. First bull in is bull 41.20.
The bull in 41.20 is a craftsman's son. He is sired by the Keneally Craftsman, the bull that led the breed for registration this year at less than 4 years of age. He sired over 5,000 registered calves.
And again, Tom, has there ever been another Angus bull that's ever done that in less than 4 years of age?
No, there never has. He was the first one. Of course, one of the things that gave him a real upside, he was owned by 2 AI studs, and that really kind of gave him a pretty good boost.
It made everybody really scratch their heads. Hey, what's going on here? If 2 AI companies like this bull so well, I'd probably like him myself. So yeah, that's true.
And this is a very nice bull in here at this time, sired by him. And now we're going to bring in another bull.
Okay.
Next bull coming in is 40.29.
Oh, Tom, here's Miss Rosalind Kidwell. She's going to be.
There we go, Rosalind. Good morning, Rosalind.
Good morning.
You got that tiara looking good.
Thank you.
You know, I'm honored to have with me today Al and Miss America Angus for 2025, Rosalind Kidwell.
Yes.
And Rosalind, tell us about yourself and where you're from and a little bit about you.
My name is Rosalind Kidwell. I'm from Gentryville, Indiana.
Where's that at?
It is about an hour and a half west of Louisville. It's about an hour and a half west of Louisville.
So you're from southern
Yes.
Indiana. Southern Indiana girl. Okay.
Very southern. Yep. I am a freshman at Purdue University studying biochemistry.
Well, that sounds heavy.
Yes,
Bio.
it is.
And so when you graduate, what will you be qualified to do?
Well, I will be going to pharmacy school to be a veterinary pharmacologist to do research and development.
So you're going to be a veterinary comatologist.
A veterinary pharmacologist.
And what does that mean?
So I'll just be an animal pharmacist, basically.
But you won't be a vet.
No, I will not.
But you'll be doing research.
Yes,
and
I
will.
will.
Where do you think you'll be doing that at?
Probably at like an animal health company, like a Landco, Merck, Zoetis, somewhere like that.
Okay, well, tell us about your family.
Absolutely. I'm a fifth-generation Angus breeder. I have had Angus cattle my entire life. My first time showing with an adult was when I was about 3 or 4. I've been in the National Junior Angus Association and the Indiana Junior Angus Association my entire life. I grew up around Angus cattle with my dad. And my history within the auxiliary, as well as just the national stage in general, is pretty rich. My grandma was a past president for the Indiana Junior Angus, or the Indiana Auxiliary. And so was my great-grandma Peak. My grandpa Peak, he was also very, very involved with the Angus on the national stage. One of the big stories at our house is that he was one of the first people to exhibit the champion bred and owned heifer and champion bull at the Chicago Stock Exchange 1 year, and that's pretty cool. And then my great-great-grandpa was one of the first people to have a Indiana Angus Association membership, and we still have it. It's pretty cool.
So you've got a sterling Angus pedigree.
I do.
You've got the Angus
I do.
gene. Well, you know, I knew your grandfather really well, Freeman Peak.
Yes,
He was a
Grandpa Peak.
real powerhouse in the
Oh
Angus
yeah,
industry.
he was. He was.
And he loved Angus cattle.
One of the coolest things is at his house, before he passed away, he used to have all these catalogs full of the Penn and Carload auctions, or the Penn and Carload auctions when they would sell at Denver, and also transportation from Denver back to the Midwest. He would have these old catalogs in his house, and we'd all sit around and look at all the old railway cars and all the people who were advertising themselves on those magazines for Denver. It was pretty cool. So being here to watch the Penn and Carload show has definitely been cool.
Did you keep them?
I think my grandma has them still.
Okay.
They're within the Peak family somewhere.
Would that be Grandma Peak?
It'd be one of their daughters. So
One of their daughters.
Yes.
Okay, now you had a cousin.
Yes, I did. My cousin Maddie Butler, she was a past Miss American Angus, and she was really kind of how I saw Miss American Angus for the first time. Because when I was younger, it was always kind of just like, oh, there's Miss American Angus, like something you just know. But then I got to travel with her once to Eastern Regionals in West Virginia. I remember meeting you there for the first time,
Yes.
Tom. And just watching her step into that role as like a poised, intelligent mentor for young women and just juniors in general. It was something I really wanted to kind of try out for myself.
Tell me how your pedigree and your cousin line up. How are you really?
So
through what lines?
Peggy, who is my grandpa Peak's oldest daughter.
I knew Peggy.
Yes, she is me and Maddie's grandma. So,
She's your grandmother.
Yes, she is my grandmother. So my dad is her son, and her daughter Casey is Maddie's mom.
So it's a great family tree, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We were actually talking about it, and some of the ladies in the auxiliary were like, we think she could be the first grandma that's had 2 Miss American Anguses.
Oh, I'm sure. You got to remember there were 3 full sisters.
Yes,
that were Miss America Angus,
yes.
and a couple of full sisters.
Yes.
The girls from Missouri.
Yeah.
Were all.
And also the Harward sisters were
Yeah.
also Miss. Yes.
Yeah. And tell me this. Tell me about your Angus herd.
So for me, we kind of stay small. I have I have a couple mama cows, and then mostly all I have at my house is just show heifers. Right now I have a 24-carat heifer in the barn.
A daughter of the carrot.
Yes.
Did you raise her?
No, she came from Haggard's.
She came from Dean.
Yes,
Dean
she came
Haggard.
from Dean and Spencer. They're very dear friends of ours.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they live just down the road probably, or up the road.
They live quite a bit up the road, but they're only about 30 minutes from my grandma's house. So we
Okay.
always try to stop by and visit them when we're up there.
And so you got a carrot. So you're going to show her this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully so.
And have you bred her yet?
She has not been bred. She's a baby. She's
Okay.
a March. Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
you're going to have a heifer for the junior show when you
Yes.
come to
Yep.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes, and then hopefully our own preview show, and then that weekend will get a little crazy between Futurity also happening, but I'll be at the Indian Angus preview to exhibit her as well.
So it's going to be an exciting life as Miss America.
It is. I'm getting to see a lot of new places.
You know, I feel very fortunate because I've known every Miss America that's been crowned way back
Absolutely.
to 1960.
To Jill.
No,
or not to Jill, to Sharon.
Sharon
Yes.
Yes. Sharon
Summers.
and she's
Yep.
the mother of Jill
Of
Harper.
Jill, yep.
Yeah. So I've known every one of them since day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's super cool, too. Indiana has such a rich Miss American Angus history. Really, I mean, we have the first one, and then we had Sharon, and then we had Jill, and we've had Callie Knott. We now have Courtney Cates, who also resides in the state, who is one of the big leaders for the Miss American Angus committee.
She was from Maryland originally.
Absolutely, but she's now in Indiana, and we have Maddie from Indiana as well, myself, and the list just really goes on and on.
You know, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah.
And, well, it's really been a pleasure having you come by and talk to us.
It's
I'm
nice to see you,
sure all
Tom.
your friends at home are listening.
Yes.
And I just want to say a special thanks and congratulations
Thank
on
you,
being
Tom.
Miss America Angus, the highest honor to come to any American Angus girl.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Miss America Angus, we were really happy that she came up to be with us, and want to say a special thanks to her for being a part of this today. And what a lovely girl, and what a great job she's doing as Miss America Angus. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Okay, we're back here at the show. We've had the Grassy Valley pin in. Now we're, what pin are we on now?
We're on the Three Brothers of Good Times exhibited by Express Ranches.
Okay. Did we have the York pin in?
They've already come in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, the York pin was sired by Rider Pride, by Sub-Zero, and by Badlands. And now we've got the Express, the Good Time Bulls from Express Ranch.
You know, Tom, this is pretty interesting because, like I said, I couldn't wait to see this pen of three bulls because Stag Good Times, as we know, has become known as a show heifer sire, but he can also produce some pretty dang bulls in the right places of the country.
They look pretty darn good, don't they?
They do.
Stag's Good Times has been a great sire, you know?
He has.
Look at this bull. Isn't he a powerhouse?
He is.
August 15th and 16th, the big event.
And he's by
Good Times.
Good Times.
You have to admit they've been pretty cool to look at, haven't they, all three of them?
Yeah, they look real good. And, you know, the York Farm bulls look really good.
They did. They did.
Yeah, and we were doing the interview then, but they were an Easy Rider, a Sub-Zero, and a Badlands. And they had some very, look at the nearly 15-inch ribeyes on those York Farm bulls. And they're real good on their scrotal, and really a great pen.
1262, average scrotal circumference is 34.3.
These Good Time brothers are really feeling their oats.
They're feeling good this morning, aren't
they,
Tom?
though?
They're loving the cool temperatures.
So we've had entries from Beebrook, Grassy Valley, from the York Farms, and from Express Ranch.
Don't they all three just look alike almost, Tom, the Good Time sons?
They do look alike. Our friend Bob Beeler out at Page, Nebraska, I bet he likes these.
I bet he does.
I bet he's saying, look at these bulls.
Tom, how many viewers have we got so far
Well,
this morning?
today the counter is not working.
Oh, it's not.
You know,
Okay.
yesterday we had 8,000.
Yeah.
But today, you know, and of course this broadcast goes around the world. And so unless you can speak English, you probably can't tune in very well.
Probably not. Probably not.
These bulls were probably put in maybe to be heifers too.
Well, that probably was the initial intent, if I had to guess. Not saying that they were sexed heifer semen and they turned out to be bulls, but they were probably initially intended to be females. Yes.
Our next pin is going to be from Oklahoma State. So this will be really interesting with the Vaybrook, Grassy Valley, York Farms, Express, and Oklahoma State entries.
All right, we're still on Class 121A, pedigree bulls. Next in is entry 25 from Oklahoma State University, Stillwater, Oklahoma. First bull in the ring is tagged 4136.
This 2136 is a fireball. He's a fireball from Oklahoma State University. He's got it right at a 15 ribeye. And $C of 389, an M of A70. So he's right in there. A big, massive bull, isn't he?
Very much so.
Next bull in is tagged 41.
Tom, we want to say hello to a good friend of ours from down in Tennessee, Bruce Pito. He just sent me a Snapchat, said that he's got it pulled up on his TV watching the podcast.
Oh, Brother
So,
Bruce
yeah.
Pito.
Yeah, Bruce Pito.
You know,
Pito, whatever you want to call him. I
he
call
was
him Pito.
originally from Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
And moved to Kentucky. And a real fine person, a good Angus breeder,
And he's got a son that's a real go-getter, Austin Pito.
Yeah, I know Austin.
Pito, yeah.
And I knew Bruce's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a brother as well. They were all Angus breeders in Connecticut.
Later today. You can find them back here in the pins. You can find them on the web. agresearch.okstate.edu.
We're now looking at the Oklahoma State University. Oh, look at here. Here comes another.
4148. 4148 is the final bull.
He is sired by Salvation.
With this pin, birth weight 3.0.
He's a Salvation son.
Yearling weight 160. Milk 26. Marbling 1.35.
Now we're into these Oklahoma State bulls.
$M of 70. $B of 210. C of 342.
They've got one Fireball son and two Salvations.
Yeah. And an average ribeye right at 15 square inches.
Yes.
On all three bulls.
Now, again, we talk about uniformity. That's being uniform on paper, too, Tom. You know it?
Yeah, it really is. Here they come up.
Tom,
Yeah.
you got to speak with an old friend from Origin, Mr. Dick Beck. Was he in good spirits this morning?
He was in super good spirits.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I assume him and Diane are still in the dog business, right? Raising puppies
They
and all
got
that.
these world-renowned Scotties.
Scotty dogs. Okay.
Oh man, and you know they even compete at Westminster.
Westminster.
Yep, they had
okay.
some dogs
Cool.
that were not only compete but were Westminster winners.
What about that?
Yeah,
Very successful.
And, they've been very successful with it, and Diane really has got Westminster fever, and loves to compete with them and loves them dearly.
Lovely. That is great to hear.
Well, the judges now have got to decide on these 5 from V-Brook, Grassy Valley, York Farms, Express Angus Ranch, and Oklahoma State University. You know, all these bulls had pretty significant ribeyes, and they all had excellent weights. And their birth weights were right in check as well. So they'll have to place these 1 through 5. They'll place them 1 through 5. Wasn't a good Miss America Angus came to see us.
Oh, yes. Rosalind was in good spirits.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Boy, she's going to be in some heavy-duty studying.
She is. Okay. Where's she attending college at?
Purdue.
Purdue University.
And she's going to be a research, kind of a research veterinary tech or something like that.
Sure. Okay.
She'll work for a pharmaceutical or a company that makes these potions to make animals healthy.
Okay. Well, we need more of that in the world, too, as far as the agriculture world goes.
Oh, here we go. Look at here.
Well, this is just a demonstration.
Oh, another demonstration.
Yeah, this is just demonstration. Purdue University has one of the best vet colleges in America, what they tell me. So that's good that Rosalind's going there. She's going to be a vet technician.
I don't think it's even more in depth than a technician.
Really?
Yeah,
more than
it's a couple more steps up the ladder.
Turn your attention to the screen. We've got some slides here to demonstrate how that works.
So, Tom, we'll go through, let's see, we've done 4 entries in this class 121A, or excuse me, 5 entries. So they'll place these entries, and then we'll move on to the next class. And then after that, well, we'll just keep doing a few classes. Then it'll be a while till we get to the division. So we've got a ways to go. I believe there was more numbers this year in the pin show than there were last year.
Yeah,
don't
it's
you think, Tom?
significant. It's grown significantly.
Judge B's highest ranking is 14. Again, no consensus, so we move to the referee to establish an official placing. The referee judge has 12 over 14. Entry 12 is second. For third, Judge A has entry 14 as his highest ranking entry. Judge B also has entry 14 as the highest ranking. There is a consensus.
I wonder whoever came up with this system. It's quite intriguing, isn't it?
Well, they had to put a lot of thought and depth into it, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty heavy duty.
A guy that doesn't do this every day could get confused how they come up with this formula, don't they, to calculate
and,
these
a few
figures.
times they weren't as tuned up as they should be, and there have been a few errors.
Really?
So they're very careful anymore.
I could imagine so. That's all I could imagine. The first one out of the gate probably was a little rough and rocky, a little bumpy. Tom, we mentioned this yesterday. Anyone who's out there listening, we have our calendars for 2025 at the hall. If anybody would like a free cloth wall calendar, be sure to reach out to us by email or by phone, and we'd be happy to get them one, wouldn't we, Tom?
One free of charge. We'd be more than happy. And they're truly collector's items, and they're free of charge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're thinking about having a late spring sale or a fall sale this year in 2025, be sure to give the hall a call. We'd love to come out to your farm at no cost or obligation, and love to book and plan a sale for you this year in 2025.
No obligation. We'll sure do that. And let's see now where. They're over there analyzing the bulls again. This will be a pretty close placing, I have a feel. You know, we have in the pins we have two sets of brothers. We have the Good Time brothers, and we have the Margin Call brothers that are with us, and they're all by the same sire. Those pins. You know, it used to be something when you went to Denver and you saw the pins prior to 1970 when, as I call it, they were in their organic stage. They were bedded in straw, and all they had was their heads and tails clipped, and then they showed them. They didn't do anything else to them. So it was pretty interesting, and of course, Rosemere Farms in Maquoketa, Iowa were always a factor. Mr. L.B. Pierce from Woodlawn Farms in Creston, Illinois was always in there. And in the carload would have been Dale Redding. He was from Minotaur, Nebraska. That's a place that later became Colossal Cattle Company.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And Dale Redding had a lot of cows. He had a bull called Anconian 3515. He was a home place Anconian 9935 son, and he had 1,000 daughters of that bull.
1,000 daughters.
1,000 daughters. He had 1,000 sisters. And then he bought the International Reserve Champion bull in 1960 named Hecateer 99 from Mrs. Greta Heckett in Valencia, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And he was sired by the famous Dormax Bartolomeu X, and also did a real good job for Mr. Redding.
Good for them, yes. Yes. You know, Tom, I can see why it takes a little time to analyze the cattle again on the judge's standpoint, because it's so close. The competition is so fierce, Tom. Even in this pin show, we talked about how the competition of the halter show is dangerous and deadly. Personally, I believe the competition in these pin shows and carload shows are just as deadly also.
They are, and the passion of the exhibitors is equally as powerful.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, I think whenever you get into, if you're going to bring a pen of cattle to a pen show like this, bulls, females, either one, or a carload, you're pretty dang passionate about it, or else you wouldn't bring them here in the first place.
Yeah.
You're taking it very seriously. As they should. As they should.
And it's something you got to want to do.
Absolutely. Well, that goes back to the passion. That's right.
And it's probably best to have 2 or 3 cheerleaders at home to help drive these ideas.
Not everyone has those cheerleaders.
Yeah, you got to have some cheerleaders back home to say, hey, let's do it.
Our president, J.P. Perry, was not, or Jonathan Perry, we call him J.P., apparently he's still snowed in somewhere in Arkansas on his way up here, because he wasn't here this morning for their carload show. So he's had a heck of a time getting here, hasn't he, Tom?
He has.
J.P. has, yeah.
He's been over in the land of opportunity, Arkansas.
In the heart of the Ozarks.
They're really analyzing this pen. You know, they've been working at this for quite a while now.
They've been about going on 20, 25 minutes analyzing. They sure have. And again, I could say, Tom, with the process that's involved, it doesn't surprise me that it takes them a while.
Yeah, that's very true. Have a seat. Good morning, Mark.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
It's good to see you. We have Mark McCulley, who is the 13th CEO of the American Angus Association. He's with us today, and Mark, we're honored to have you with us.
Well, gosh, I'm glad I walked by right at the right time,
You
Tom.
did work by it.
I tell you what. What a show we're having today, huh?
Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it?
It's some really good bulls, and had a really nice pen sets of heifers earlier on today.
And the other thing that's good is the Angus sales have been very good here as well.
They've been pretty stout, haven't they?
They really have. Tell us if there's anything newer and exciting you want to share from St. Joe on Frederick Avenue.
Well, business has been good across. Our members, I think, are having success, and as you well know, we've got a lot of diversity in our breed right now, and I keep talking about. It seems like we're having lots of camps having success, and I think that's a really good thing.
As I say, the umbrella is wide. There's
there you
room
go
for everybody.
There you go. So
and you have a new regional manager hire.
Yep. Well, we've got. We've got a new spot coming open.
Andrew Swanson.
Well, Andrew Swanson. Yep. Up in the Dakotas.
And Minnesota.
Yep.
I think he'll be a very good addition.
He's hit the ground running, and he's a known commodity in that area. I know they're really enjoying him, and he's enjoying getting around.
Our people are happy with him.
Yep.
And is there anyone else?
Well, we got a new spot. It's fresh off the presses, but we are gonna be looking for someone down in the southeast. Sean Gray's actually had an opportunity came up that he's going to be leaving us. So that's what I thought maybe you had heard that news.
Yeah.
That one.
He is down in Louisiana.
Yep, in Alabama and Mississippi and Arkansas, and he was doing a good job, but had an opportunity that he's going to pursue. So we're gonna have a new opening.
Well, don't you have a regional?
Gentlemen, the results are in for Class 121A Pen of 3 Bulls. And in first place goes to entry 24, Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. In second place is Oklahoma State, Stillwater, Oklahoma. In third place goes to entry 23, York Farms from Illinois. Fourth place goes to entry 22, Grassy Valley Farm, Greenville, Tennessee. And fifth place goes to entry 21, V. Brock Angus Ranch, Cole Camp, Missouri. Give our exhibitors a big round of applause.
As we looked at it, it was almost unanimous.
And that class is also an automatic division. So entry 24 was first in class and also wins that division. Entry 25 is second in class. That makes them reserve for that division.
Now, we were talking, you have a regional manager trainee too, don't you?
Well, you do. We brought that program back from, it was something that David Gazda had started there a few years ago, and we've been had the good fortune to have a young man.
You can talk over that.
Okay, yeah, good man of Ty Murray had been with us through the fall, so yeah. Well, we got a lot of good things going. We're, of course, January. We've got we'll be here at Cattleman's Congress, and then head out next week to National Western, and so we've got lots of activities.
And you have the National Cattlemen's Convention.
We'll go to the Cattle Convention, and
Angus has a big presence.
We'll have a big presence there. We'll have the booth, of course, and in the trade show, and then also certified Angus beef. Pretty much any beef you have at that will be certified Angus beef product. So
in the booth, you mean?
Across the convention as a whole.
Oh my, that is a big thing.
Yeah, we do kind of do a big thing down there, and
that is good.
Yeah, it's always. Great way to showcase the product. So many of our ranchers that raise the product, they don't maybe sometimes get to buy it. They don't probably buy beef at the grocery store and such. So it's always great to showcase the brand at that event.
And I've noticed the pasture to plate program.
Yeah,
that's been very popular.
Yeah, that's been a new thing here over the last few years. Since COVID came along, we've had a lot more folks that have been able to do kind of a direct-to-consumer beef business, and have had that really kind of exploded. And so we've got a program that folks can tie into. And for years and years, Tom, I was at Certified Angus Beef. We'd have cattlemen call up and say, "Hey, we want to represent certified Angus beef in our freezer beef or our farmers market." And the way this program is because it's a USDA certified program, we've got to go through a USDA graded plant and all of that, and So the answer was always it just never quite worked for them. So this was a kind of a creative way to start working with those folks, and we've got a number of them on board, and it's been a good program.
Well, I've
think
talked to a lot
well.
of people that are really happy with it.
Well, good.
They're really pleased, and I think it's going to go straight up from the standpoint of success.
I think the biggest limiting factor has been finding those that have some have a processing facility we can work with. You bet.
Well, tell us where you grew up, Mark.
So grew up in north central Illinois.
Near what city?
Well, you know all the cities, but Varna is my hometown, but
Okay.
I'd be about an hour north of Peoria.
Just north of Peoria?
Just up the river.
Kind of just about northern Illinois almost.
Yep. So, that was home, and went to Lakeland Community College down in Mattoon, and then over to Western Illinois.
You went to Western?
To Macomb, and then went up to Michigan State for grad school.
So you enjoyed all of that?
It was all fun. It was a fun path. Yep, absolutely.
And how long did you work at Certified Angus Beef?
I was there about a little over 19 years.
19 happy years.
19 happy years, and yeah.
During some real real growth.
It was fun to see. I always say that was it was just fun to be a part of so much of that growth. And I remember when we hit 500 million pounds, that was
half
a billion, and then we went across 1 billion pounds, and I remember when we had acceptance rates down at 14%, and now we're up. We'll have some months up over 40%.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, so percent of those black-hided cattle that hit all of the carcass specifications. So.
Well, Mark, it's been good talking to you.
Thanks
for dropping by.
Oh, thanks for grabbing me.
To have you.
Well, it's always a pleasure,
and
Tom.
Thanks for the good job you're doing for all Angus breeders, you and your staff.
Fantastic.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. We're now back here at the show, and we're showing class class 122A. We had Deer Valley.
Right now. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm back on now. Thank you.
Okay, we've had Deer Valley.
Yep.
Are they in right now?
No. Deer Valley just went out. This is Wilkes from Texas.
At Eastland, Texas. And they have the Bold Ruler and the Bear Mountain Justice and Poss ratified. Well, it was good to have Mark drop by.
Oh, it's always a
and
pleasure
talk
for
to
Mark.
us. It was real good. The the pen was first was in the last division. First was Express Ranch. Second was Oklahoma State. Third was York Farms in Illinois. Fourth was Grassy Valley in Tennessee. And fifth was V-Brock in Coal Camp, Missouri. We're now in Class 122A, and we've got Deer Valley. We've got Wilkes Ranch, and soon as soon as we get that, we'll have an entry from Express Ranch. So really, these bulls were all born in January.
Yep.
These are all January, but look how good he's feeling. He's probably happy to be out of Texas. From the Wilkes Ranch in Eastland, Texas. A very good Angus operation that raises a lot of good Angus cattle. You know, our last, there was almost unanimous in the last 5 placings. I think there was only one switch.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost unanimous. Look at him. Isn't he feeling good?
He's feeling great. I believe he thinks he's fixing to go out and get turned out with some females, don't you think,
Look
Tom?
at it. Here comes the pin back in with his pen mates for another review. And we have sons of Poss ratified, BA7 Oak Bold Ruler, and Justice, Bear Mountain Justice.
Wilkes Ranch, Eastland, Texas. Average weight was 1363 and average total circumference of 37.
That's pretty good. Their average weight, Al, 1,363 pounds. Have we got a message in?
No. I'm just checking something else on email here.
Again, if you want to send us a message, you can do so by calling me at 816-853-2697 or Al.
270-566-8822.
And you can send you what?
A text message.
You can send him a text message. And we'd be glad to hear from you. Okay, now we're getting ready for the express pin. And
next is entry number 28 from Express Angus Ranch.
These would be totally different from the
Tag 5 is the bull of the ring. Average weight
totally different from the good times. These are the Statesman and Prolific bulls. These bulls have an average ribeye of 16.2. Excellent scrotal data.
Again, Tom, we've seen a lot of Statesman sons here this morning, haven't we?
You know, Statesman really has been a popular bull.
And to be as young as he is, he's slowly rising to the top, isn't he?
He's had a kind of a slow climb, but it's been very predictable, and it's been steady. And this entry comes from the Express Ranch in Yukon, Oklahoma. Well, one thing about Express Ranch, they only have less than 10 miles to get here.
How convenient for him to bring all these cattle.
Think about that, less than 10 miles. Well, there's a big stout guy. There's something to be said for a 10-mile journey for a major show.
You're not kidding.
$B at $221, $C at $354. Express Ranch is based out of Yukon, Oklahoma. One of America's largest seed stock producers. They'll have their 30th annual spring bull sale in March the 7th. They'll sell 340 Angus bulls, including the Cattleman's Congress pin and Carload. March the 15th, they'll have their honor roll heifer calf sale. April 25th, they'll have a grass time sale. August 15th and 16th.
And here comes another Express bull. Now we've seen all three of them.
Tag 7 is in the ring. Tag 7.
Tag 7. This is a Ellingson Prolific son.
He's a Prolific son.
Well, you know, we sold, or that they sold Prolific's mother last night in the Angus at the Congress sale for $120,000.
Yes. She was a nice cow.
Yep.
This bull's got a lot of thickness and meat in him. So he's going to join his two mates that are both sired by
Statesman. Yep. Uh-huh.
Then we're on Class 122A. This is entry 28 from Express Angus Ranch in Yukon, Oklahoma. Average weight is 1419. Average scroll circumference is 38.
That's a pretty impressive weight on these Express bulls of 1,419 pounds.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, very much so. And, Tom, keep in mind as we go through this, the females and the bulls all alike that have been through the pen show this morning and the carloads, each and every one of them have already been genomic tested.
I think we got two more pens coming in. We got Boyd beef cattle at Mayslick, Kentucky.
Yes.
And we got Ryan
Hobson
at Crescent, Oklahoma.
Next in the ring is entry 29 from Boyd beef cattle in Mayslick, Kentucky. Average weight was 1450. Average scrotal circumference.
Tom, we have two sons here of Jan Saluda, and then 1 Boyd bell ringer.
Okay.
Tag 4031.
And their average ribeye of 16.0.
Average $C of 317, and that's pretty impressive too to be up in the 300s of that.
That is, they're all over 300 with a top of 334.
Yes.
And they're all relatively conservative on birth.
Next bull is bull 1, tag 4009. This is entry 29 from Boyd beef cattle. Average EPDs on this 10, CD of 10, birth of 0.1, lean weight 90, yearly weight 150, milk of 22, marbling of 0.84, ribeye 0.94, $M of 80. $B 183, $C 317. Boyd beef cattle is a 4th-generation family owned and operated by that family, including Charlie, Paul, and Logan Blake, and Grace Boyd, with deep roots in both agriculture and the beef cattle business. The Boyd family derives 100% of its living from Angus cattle and the beef business. The Boyd program has produced numerous herd sires and AI stud bulls. Maternal productivity, added performance, and extra carcass merit is the Boyd program and complete package. Annual bull sale is coming up second Saturday in March.
Okay, we're now on the Boyd beef cattle at Mayslick, Kentucky. 3 bulls, 2 by Saluda, 1 by Bellringer.
40-12.
Another really good pen of bulls from the Boyds. Waiting to come in now will be Ryan Hobson from Crescent, Oklahoma. He'll have Statesman's, True Balance, and Man in Black.
Yeah, this is entry 29 from Boyd beef cattle, Maysville, Kentucky. Average weight is 1415. Average scrotal circumference is 38.3. They invite you to be with them on Saturday, March the 8th, 2025 in Maysville. These bulls will be for sale.
We're getting a pretty nice turnout now as the day wears on here for the show. The weather is still a little unfriendly outside, but the crowd continues to intensify as we go along. You know, almost without exception, every one of these bulls in this show will sell this spring.
Yes. And these guys that have production sales that are bringing these bulls, I'd say all these bulls will be in their sale, every one of them.
They'll be offered. Now there's a few bulls also available at private treaty.
Yep.
All right, next entry is entry number 30, Ryan Hobson from Crescent, Oklahoma. Average weight is 1320. Average scrotal circumference of 39.7. Bull in the ring is bull 2. He's tag 4008.
Ryan's bulls are now coming in. And he has an average ribeye of 14.1. Average ribeye of 14.1. an average $C of 362. Sired by the Statesman, True Balance, and Man in Black. As soon as we complete this class, we'll be ready for another championship division.
Oh, yeah.
Another championship division. Then we'll move into class number 123A, where we have entries from Deer Valley and Express Ranches. And that'll be our last class. And then we'll select our grand and reserve grand champion pin of bulls.
And this is Ryan Hobson.
Ryan Hobson.
Next bull.
You know,
one, tag 3908.
there's a lot of tradition in these pens and carloads.
Oh, yeah.
Like you say, people that don't want to get in the hardcore show ring, this is a great place for them. And I see this is growing even more with each passing year.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to grow even into bigger dimensions.
Could be to the point where it takes all day long to get the show over with, Tom. You never know.
Of course, one of the bulls is featured in this pin sale this afternoon. Their bulls will be featured this afternoon in the National Angus Bull Sale.
Let's go down and get Gordon for an interview. Gordon Stucky. Are we on okay? Okay, we're on the air here. And our Walton Webcasting has really been working good. And it's...
Final bull 3. Tag 4014.
Okay, we're getting ready to introduce another special guest. Another special guest. Gordon, come up here and get your headset on. Good to have you with us today, Gordon. Put that right on, and it'll bring you right into Gordon Stucky. Welcome.
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
I'm extremely good. Good to have you at the Cattle Congress today. And Gordon is from the Stucky Ranch in Kingman, Kansas. He has a large Angus herd. About how many cows do you run, Gordon?
Oh, 500 or so, depending on the year. Yeah.
I managed a sale when you bought one of your very first females, the Great Northern Daughter.
You bet.
The Eiza Erica.
That's what started it all for
and
us.
How many Eiza Ericas do you think you got?
Oh, gosh. You know, our current herd is still made up of about probably 60% of that cow family.
You bought that cow from Bill Wilson.
She was a winner for us,
She
you
was
bet.
a Great Northern Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember the date. You sell right in the middle section. And I think your brother was with you.
He was at home, but yeah,
Okay.
he helped financially with me that day.
Yeah, and so it turned out to be a great thing.
It was, yeah.
Well, tell us about what's the Stucky Ranch. What's going on?
Oh, gosh, you know, it's just a great time to be in the cow business. I mean, with the market structure we have, and it's so rewarding to see our commercial customers having such a great year.
Have you ever seen them happier?
Oh, it's been tremendous. We had just a little sidebar here. So we had a sale at Pratt Livestock.
That commercial.
That commercial sale the first week in December, and I had 3 of my bull customers that sold sets of bred heifers that took in $250,000 each.
They did.
They did. And $250,000 for 2 pot loads of heifers on each of those 3 customers.
Were in tears of joy.
Oh, it was just unbelievable. But you know, those are guys that have been in the business 30 plus years and bought the good bulls year in and year out.
And you've been in charge of that sale for many years. How many years would you say, Gordon?
I think this was about my 31st or 32nd year.
I know you've really worked hard on that, and
yeah.
It's been good for you and the Kansas Angus Association and the Angus breed.
You bet.
Well, Gordon, you were president of the American Angus Association. You were treasurer. You were vice president. President served on the board for 6 years, and I had the pleasure of being a member of your administration.
You bet.
I maybe wasn't much of a contributor, but I was a member.
You were great.
But I was a member, and I'm proud of that. It was quite a time when you were president, wasn't it?
It was. It was challenging times for lots of different reasons.
For a lot of different reasons, but we all got through it.
We got through it, and we've gotten to a point here where I think American Angus is very strong.
And we're all friends.
In St. Joe, and it's a strong industry right now, and I think we have to capitalize on where we're at. Because sometimes you have to go through some tougher times to really appreciate the great times that you get in.
Now, it was really odd when I went to the annual meeting in Texas this year and saw that we had a net worth of $92 million, which is pretty unheard of for a nonprofit organization.
It is. When we're on the board, I got out in 2015, so our net worth has doubled since then.
It's doubled. It has really gone to town, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's good to have a strong financial base like we've got.
It is, because you and I are both experienced enough to know that this thing does go up and down, and there'll be challenging years in the future at some point in time.
Sure
and
will.
So it's good to see the association with that strong a footing.
And doesn't your son ranch with you as well?
Yeah. I have several guys with me, and I have 3 sons, and they all kind of contribute in different ways. I have one that's a mechanic and one that's an engineer, and then Jesse's just 3 miles from us there.
So it's all worked out really well.
It really has, and I have several day cowboys that really make it work. When we have our large cattle working days.
And your brother that was with you early on, what does he do now?
He's retired. He'd be 75, and so he's kind of cruising at this point, and well deserved. Yeah.
And but you're still the commander-in-chief of the operation.
Well, that's probably to be discussed at days, but yes, I still kind of feel like it's our baby. And Caroline, my wife, works with me side by side, and it's just rewarding. I just really enjoy every day what I get to do.
And Caroline's been a wonderful soulmate.
She has.
And you'll sell how many bulls this spring?
Oh, we'll be up there in that 150 range.
About 150 bulls.
Yeah.
That's very, very good.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, Gordon, it's been a pleasure having you. We want to wish you the best. Thanks for coming to say hello. And
you bet.
God bless you.
You bet. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Gordon.
And best wishes to you.
Thanks for your friendship. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Gordon. This is our friend Gordon Stucky from Stucky Ranch in Kingman, Kansas. And thank you, Gordon, for being a part of it. We have another longtime friend I can see, Dennis George Lopez. Dennis George Lopez. And I'm going to see, I want to talk to you, Dennis. Put these on. Come on. Dennis is looking me over. He's a Portuguese brother. He's a Portuguese brother.
What do you want me to say?
I just want you to be.
Let me do nothing without telling me what to say.
Come on, come on up here and sit down. Well, we got a little time.
Where's the podcast going?
Okay, you got to put this on so that you can hear everything. Dennis, you act like you're 80 years old.
Really?
Okay. Oh, man, I tell you. Dennis, how you doing?
I can't hear you there. Yeah, give me back my hat there.
Oh, I'll give it back to you. Today we have with us the famous Dennis Lopez. He is from the state of California. He's what I call an Angus spokesman. He's heavily Portuguese pedigreed, and we're honored to have him. Dennis, good day.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
And Dennis, tell us about Diablo.
Oh, where's this going?
It's going around the world.
I see, around the world, okay.
And Dennis, tell us about Diablo Valley.
Diablo Valley, the grandmother started Diablo Valley, bought the ranch in 1889 for 55 cents an acre.
55 cents an acre.
55 cents an acre, you know. Could not speak English.
Couldn't speak, she spoke Portuguese.
Yeah, could not speak any English, okay. And made it through the worst was the Depression and the recession and how they went through that, the barter system, and money was not changing hands, but you traded for a piece of meat for a spare tire and stuff like that.
Yes, the barter system.
The barter system, yeah.
And Dennis, tell us about Diablo Valley today.
Diablo Valley today is a total performance Angus bull program.
Okay.
And we sell range bulls, and we've topped a lot of sales.
And how many cows would you run at the Diablo Valley?
Well, about 100.
About 100 cows.
Yeah, about 100 cows. But we have partnerships all over the world.
Yes, all over the world.
All over the world. And we're just trying to perpetuate our genetics. And we have a couple of real famous cows. We have the Barbie cow that produced a half-interest $190,000 heifer. And we have the Deluxe's mother, 9034, the Erica that came from Tehama. And let's see, I was trying to figure out yesterday how long I've been breeding cattle, and I've had the Angus cattle for 70 years.
70 years. You were
11
when you got your first Angus.
That's correct. I was 11 when we bought our first range bull to breed our Holsteins, the dairy
Dennis,
cows.
you know, I knew your father and your mother.
Yep.
And I know your brother.
Yep.
And so I've known your family for probably over a half a century.
Right, that's correct, yes.
We've been friends. And, of course, you're a longtime friend of regional manager Bill Roach.
Right. He tutored me and pulled me around.
Wasn't he a kind of a guiding light?
And, you know, one of your friends kind of tutored me, too. He says, one of your friends told me, he says, you know, you buy a new car every year. You don't keep a car the whole long. So J.B. McCorkle told me, he said, I want you to make sure you buy a new bull every year. I don't want you to just think this bull's for a lifetime deal.
Okay, he wanted you to be active in the business.
He wanted to be very, very active. He explained to me how he had to have a new car every year.
And you're a true disciple of the Angus business, Dennis. You've been around for a long time.
I've been lucky. I've been really, really lucky.
And what do you think your best highlight of the Angus business has been?
The best highlight?
Yes.
I'd have to say there's been a few highlights, but producing the 1991 National Junior Heifer Show champion when there was 2,000 head there.
Was that Diablo Susie?
Diablo Susie, you know, and you look at the competition was Dameron was number one to competition, Steve Patton, Krebs, Express. I mean, you look at all of them that were there.
And here comes Diablo Susie.
And I told them all to get ready, get depressed. We were going to win.
And what was she by?
She was by that R&J bull. What was his name?
Was she by?
A McKenzie brother.
Okay, by the McKenzie brother.
Yeah.
Back to Lone Star.
Yeah, back to Lone Star.
She was a Lone Star
daughter. She was a Lone Star daughter. Yeah.
But you sure changed your program.
It sure changed my program because when I met Dave McMahon, nobody wanted to sell me any semen on that bull.
Yeah?
So R&G turned me down, so Dave McMahon told me, he says, Lopez, I know you got the cow, I got the bull. We're going to do a deal. And we did the deal.
Okay. Well, very good.
It seemed like all my steps of my life, there was always somebody like you that was willing to help me.
Thank you. Well, you had a daughter that was an actress.
Yes. She said her television program was a hit in Portugal and Egypt yesterday.
Was it really?
Yeah, it never ends. It just goes to country to country to country. And when she goes to another country and it comes out the number one show, I feel really good for that week.
Well, very, very good. And what's she doing now?
She is an investment broker for a large company, a very large company. She married a guy that's one of the greatest guys in the world. He's an aerospace engineer.
And do you still have the turbines?
No, we took the turbines down, trying to get new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, the turbines, they have updated to such a point where they finally got really efficient.
You were one of the first gentlemen I knew that had a turbine. How many did you have at one time?
I had 20 of the largest in the world, and I was partners with Lee Iacocca, and he told me, we're not doing this for tax credits, we're doing this to make cash.
Okay.
We want to make cash.
He was the automobile maker.
Yeah, and he told me, he says, I'm going to make you my partner because you got the perfect ranch.
You got a good place out there in the hills.
He says, you got the perfect ranch for my program. And I got a big bang out of it. It took him about 3 months to get the paperwork done. And so when we finally got all the paperwork done and we had our last meeting with him and his lawyers, I told him, I said, I feel as though I'm on the bottom of the totem pole. He says, remember, you're on the pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thanks for the interview. I appreciate your friendship for over a half a century.
Right.
And I'm proud to call you a special friend.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Okay. Dennis George Lopez from Byron, California, from one of probably the pioneer Angus family in all of California. So, Dennis, it's a privilege and pleasure to have you with us today. Well, the interviews go on here, and we're waiting for some results now. Dennis, thank you very much for being with us today. And let's see now. We're going to find out on this class. We had 5 entries. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries, and we have entries from Deer Valley, Wilkes, Express, Boyd Beef, and Ryan Hobson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the results are in for Class 122A. In first place goes to entry 29, Boyd Beef Cattle, Maze Lick, Kentucky. In second place, entry 27, Wilkes Ranch, Eastland, Texas. Third place goes to entry 28, Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. Fourth place goes to entry 30, Ryan Hobson of Crescent, Oklahoma. And fifth place goes to entry 26, Deer Valley Farm, Fayetteville, Tennessee. Let's give our exhibitors a big round of applause for that class and automatic division.
We've had our placings, and we have a split decision. We have a split decision from Beargree, Leicester, and Del Porto. So the class winner is Boyd Beef in Kentucky. Second is Wilkes in Texas. Third to Express in Oklahoma. Fourth to Ryan Hobson in Oklahoma. And fifth to the Deer Valley in Fayetteville, Tennessee. It was a total agreement on the number 1 position. In the second, 27 got 2 first prize votes, and that was the entry of the Wilkes Ranch. So a total agreement on the first place winner in this division. So again, this is class number 122A. 122A. We're now moving to our next class, 123A, pen of 3 bulls. But first we have Deer Valley Farm at Fayetteville, Tennessee. They have a son of Kennedy Commerce, one by GAR Freedom, and one by Virginia Tech Statesman. So 3 entries in class number 31. These bulls were all born in the fall. These are November-born bulls. November-born bulls. A big ribeye pen of 15.5 under average ribeye from Deer Valley. And a really nice set of fall bulls. A very nice set of fall bulls. And here comes the third Deer Valley bull. These judges analyze at first 1 bull at a time. 1 bull at a time. And then they bring them back as a trio and review them once again. Okay, they're bringing the Deer Valley bulls back, the 3 of them, to be analyzed and sired by Kennedy Commerce, GAR Freedom, and Virginia Tech Statesman. All fall-born bulls. We're now moving into the Express Bulls, and they are sired by Salvation, True Balance, and by the Statesman. This bull one is by SG Salvation that's in the ring right now. He is a Salvation son. He's got a 15.5 ribeye, a $C of 374, a weaning of 90, and a yearling of 158. So a world of performance, and he's got a real Aberdeen head. You look at his head, it is Aberdeen as can be. And I really like cattle with Aberdeen heads. I know today you're not even supposed to pay any attention to it, but I do. And right now we're on the Express Ranch pen of 3. These are the September-born bulls. September-born bulls.
Spring bull sale. They sell 340 Angus bulls, including Cattleman's Congress pen and Carload.
What were the placings of our last ones, Tom?
The last class was 5, 2, 3, 1, 4.
15th and 16th, the big event, October the 6th, their fall bull sale. Express also has a bull consigned to the National Angus Bull Sale later today. Those bulls will be on display at 12:30. This will be tag 3 for Express.
We're now showing the these are the September bulls that are entries from Express Ranch, excuse me.
Yes.
One thing about Express Ranch, they only have about a 10-mile journey to get here.
It's not a lot of expense for them to get here, is it, Tom?
No, it's a very pleasant journey. 10 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Squires, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. You bet.
Good to see you, Mark.
Things going well?
Going real good.
You got lots of followers?
Really another really nice trio of bulls.
I believe the power of the bulls have just been getting more, or the uniformity of the bulls has been getting more powerful all day long, hasn't
They've
it,
been
Tom?
very, very good.
It sure has.
Walton Webcasting.
Could you turn me up just a little bit? I think I'm a little bit low. Thank you.
Okay.
Testing 1, 2. Okay, I think we're a little bit better now. Yeah, Walton's has, they've been a godsend to us this week, haven't they, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of.
So they'll, again, the judges will, thank you. Again, the judges will go through here, make their final selection on this pen for Express and Deer Valley for this pen of 3 bulls that have calved after September 1, 2023. These are 2-year-old bulls.
You know, yesterday we had 6,000 listeners.
6,000 viewers.
6,000 viewers yesterday. And so we're really excited about that. And, of course, tomorrow will be the female show. Will be the female show. It'll be the open class heifers, and that'll get underway, I believe, at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, 8 a.m.,
8
bright and
a.m.
early.
in the morning, you darn right. And we're going to get these this class placed. It is our, let me look here, it is our last individual class of the day. Our last individual class of the day.
Yep, and then we'll finish up and be done here just momentarily.
We'll have to get a grand champion overall.
Yep.
And so the last division champion was the Boyd Beef Cattle, and reserve was the Wilkes Ranch in Texas. And it was unanimous at the very top, and then it was a split decision thereafter.
I see you had a very good visit with our Portuguese Angus friend, right?
Yeah, Dennis George Lopez came by, and he's not bashful. Yeah, he'll speak right up.
Oh, Dennis.
He raised the bull. It was a good bull called Diablo Deluxe.
Diablo Deluxe,
That was a pretty good sire. You know, if you've never visited the Angus Hall of Fame, we'd like to invite you, and you can also visit the American Angus at the same time, because they're only about 25 miles apart.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And you know, when the American Angus came to St. Joe in 1955, one of the reasons they came to St. Joe is the Chamber of Commerce gave them 5 acres of land. And I remember that I was just 11 years old, and I came for the opening of the association building with my twin brother Tony and my parents, and it was just like in a big field. Now it's all built up around it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And what year was that, Tom?
That was 1955.
55.
55. It was really an exciting trip. We went. That was the first permanent home the American Angus had. Of course, they moved there from the purebred office building in the Chicago stockyards.
Oh, yeah. I've heard you say that.
From the purebred, of course, the very first office was in Independence, Missouri. And then it moved off to Iowa City, and then it moved to just south of Chicago, and then to Chicago, and then to St. Joe. But when it moved to St. Joe, it was really a competitive spirit. Cities wanting it.
Sure.
It almost went to Topeka, Kansas, Des Moines, Iowa. They were all candidates at Kansas City to get the association office.
But the free 5 acres was kind of what put the icing on the cake, wasn't it?
I think that was just having not been there for the negotiations, I'm sure it was, when they gave him 5 free acres of land.
Judges are making their decisions. I'd like to introduce our guys on the stock today. First, we have Mr. Brian Bergery of Montana. He's the owner of Bergery Cattle Company. Raises registered Angus cattle. He's judged several breeds at the National Western, the North American, Kansas City, and Fort Worth, various state fairs and point shows across the country, got an annual bull sale in the spring. Also with us today is David Del Porto, a 4th-generation cow-calf operator. Purchased his first registered Angus heifer when he was 8 years old. David and his wife Janine own and operate Del Porto Livestock in Anselmo, Nebraska, and Oakley, California, with the help of their youngest son, Dawson. David has been president of the American Angus Association, California Angus Association, Contra Costa Cattlemen's Association. David's judged on the Hill in Denver and the Penn and Carload show in Denver and Oklahoma City, as well as numerous local and state national shows. David enjoys giving back to the industry that's brought him so much happiness and life lessons. Our final judge to introduce today is Mr. Jeremy Leister. Jeremy and his wife Summer have 2 daughters, Avery and Georgia, and they reside in Fairmont, Oklahoma. Jeremy was a member of the 2010 national champion livestock judging team at Oklahoma State University. Upon obtaining his bachelor's degree, he went to work for the OSU Purebred Beef Cattle Center and did that for 10 years. Jeremy joined Pollard Farms, a progressive Angus operation located in Waukomis, Oklahoma. At Pollard Farms, they have a bull sale in March and a production female sale in September. Jeremy's responsible for daily management, sale prep, and marketing. Jeremy wants to thank the American Angus Association, Dr. Barry Pollard, and the Angus breeders for the chance to evaluate the Penn and Carload show. Let's show our judges a round of applause here for appreciation for taking time out of their busy schedules.
And these three judges have definitely had their work cut out for them today, haven't they, Tom?
Yes, they have, and it looks to me like we should be getting a place in here very quickly.
Gentlemen, and the results are in for Class 123A Pen of 3 Bulls. In first place goes to entry 32 from Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. And second place goes to entry 31, Deer Valley Farm, Fayetteville, Tennessee. Again, that will be automatic division, so Express will be the division winner, Deer Valley be the division reserve. You guys give us just a few minutes here and we'll set up.
I might say it's been a unanimous decision. Here, all three judges agreeing on the first, and all three judges agreeing on the second. So first goes to the Express Ranch in Yukon, and second goes to Deer Valley Angus in Fayetteville, Tennessee. We're now going to get ready for the overall Grand Championship.
That's good.
Let's see, I do believe we're going to have a division. We're going to have a division first.
Okay, good, okay.
Okay, there it is. So now we got entries from Express, Boyd Beef Cattle, and Express Ranches.
At Purdue University, she's studying biochemistry and pre-pharmacy. Let's give Miss America a round of applause. We're great to have her here with us today.
We got entries 24, 29, and 32 from Express Angus Ranches, Boyd Beef Cattle, and Express Angus Ranch.
In the ring now, we're showing for our 2025 Cattlemen's Congress champion Pen of 3 Bulls. From the first division is entry 24, Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. Those bulls' average weight was 1262, average scrotal circumference of 34.3. Their average EPD, CED of 5, birth 2.3, weaning 56, yearling 99, milk 17, marbling 0.14, ribeye 0.59, a dollar M of 24, dollar B of 115, dollar C 174. From the next division, entry 29, Boyd Beef from Mayslick, Kentucky. Those bulls' average weight was 1415 with an average scrotal circumference of 38.3. Average CED on those bulls is 10, birth weight 0.1, weaning 90, yearling 150, milk of 22, marbling 0.84, ribeye 0.94, a dollar M of 80, a dollar B of 183, a dollar C of 317. Coming out of the last division, there was entry 32 from Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. Average weight of those bulls is 1668. Average scrotal circumference of 40.7. The average EPDs for that pen of CED of 11, birth weight 0, weaning 79, yearling weight 143, milk 30, marbling 158, ribeye of 0.8, a dollar M of 79, $B $2.15, $C of $3.58.
The sires on these bulls, first of all, on the entry 24 from Express Ranch, they're all brothers by the famous Stags Good Times.
Yep.
They're all Good Times brothers. And then we move on to entry number 29, or class number 29, and they came from Boyd Beef. We have two sons of Jan Saluda and a son of Boyd Bellringer. And then on to entry number 32, we have a son of Salvation, one by True Balance, and one by Virginia Tech Statesman. That's the sires of the bulls that are in the ring as they compete for the Grand Champion Pit of 3 bulls here
Cattlemen's
at
Congress and the American Angus Association Board of Directors for inviting Brian and Jeremy and I here to judge this Carload and Pen show. I think it's this Pen of Bulls show and the Pen of Heifers and even the Carloads, they weren't a lot of numbers. I'll tell you, it was deep. The quality was good all the way through. I think the exhibitors need to be complimented. We got to see an awful lot of good cattle today. And the challenging thing was it makes a lot of these classes difficult to judge, and that's what makes it fun. And that's what makes it, we enjoy looking at good cattle. We enjoy evaluating good cattle. And so I think all these exhibitors certainly deserve a round of applause. We've all turned our placings in now, and we'll see who they pick as champions. I just wanted to thank everybody. There's a nice crowd here watching the show today. I think it gets a little better every year, and I certainly compliment the Congress and the staff with the American Angus Association for making this a quality class event. Thank you.
There we just heard from Judge Del Porto from California, now a Nebraska resident. And look at here, look at the bulls. Don't they look good? They're handed in their cards. The final decisions have been made, and we're going to have a grand champion.
Yep.
We're going to have a grand champion. And which group do you think is the most uniform, Al?
And the results are in. Your 2025 Cattlemen's Congress champion Pen of 3 bulls goes to entry number 29, Boyd Beef Cattle, Mays Lick, Kentucky.
Boyd Beef wins. It was a split decision with entry number 32 receiving 1 vote from Express Ranches.
Yes. And now they will bring in the second place out of that class to show for contingent.
Yes.
Which will be entry number 27 from Wilkes Ranch, if that's right.
That is correct. Wilkes Ranch at Eastland, Texas. For the reserve grand champion. So Boyd Beef in Kentucky walks away with the champion Pen of 3 on bulls by Saluda and
For
Bell.
reserve would be entry 27, Wilkes Ranch of Eastland, Texas. Average weight on that pen was 1363. Average scrotal circumference of 37. Average EPD, CED of 9. Birth weight 1.4. Weaning weight 98. Yearling weight 168. Milk of 31. Marbling 0.95. Ribeye 1.19. $M of 71. $B of 199. $C of 330.
So reviewing what we have now, we have entry number 23. These were the February born bulls, and entry number 23 are all sired by the Good Times. They're all Good Times sons, Stag Good Times. And then we have entry 27 from Wilkes Ranch, and entry number 27, the sons of Poss Ratified, B7 Oaks Bold Ruler, and Bear Mountain Justice. And then entry number 32 from Express Ranches, we have Sons of Salvation, RSA True Balance, and Virginia Tech Statesman. So they're going head-to-head now, and we'll pick a reserve grand champion, and that'll wind up our show for today, for shows, that is.
Yeah,
and then tomorrow we'll be right back at 8 o'clock in the morning for that great Heifer show.
Yep.
And Al, that's going to be really exciting.
I can't wait.
The Heifer show will be real good. And this has been equally as exciting today these pens of bulls, the Carload and the pens.
Mm-hmm. In the words of Tom, I know you never did watch WWE wrestling, but in the words of one of the greatest all-time commentators that ever called matches for WWE wrestling, Jim Ross, they called him good old JR. In the words of Jim Ross, he'd say, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
A slobber knocker.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I was a WWE fan growing up, so
were you really?
Yeah, he was one of my favorite. He was my favorite commentator of all time on WWE.
Well, they're looking them over here, and we're going to have a winner here shortly. We want to thank all our listeners today. For listening in. We really appreciate you being on.
Gentlemen, results are in, and your 2025 Cattlemen's Congress Reserve Champion Pen of 3 Bulls goes to entry number 32, Express Angus Ranch, Yukon, Oklahoma. Let's give them and all our exhibitors a big round of applause for today. Appreciate you being with us. If you weren't with us earlier today, our champion Pen of 3 Heifers went to Oklahoma State. The reserve went to Cunningham Ranch in Amber, Oklahoma. Our champion Carload went to Express Ranch, and our reserve went to Deer Valley. Appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Again, the Angus activities are just beginning for today. I invite you guys to come across about 12:30. We'll have the National Angus Bull Sale bulls on display.
And now we want to say congratulations to Express Ranch on having the reserve pen, and it was a unanimous decision.
Absolutely.
It was a unanimous decision on the Express Ranch bulls being the reserve grand champion. All three judges in total agreement.
And again, Tom, we appreciate everyone listening in today. We'll see everyone back bright and early at 8 a.m. tomorrow for the beginning of the Open ROV Angus show, female show. And until then, God bless everybody, and we'll be listening for you tomorrow.
And it's been a pleasure being with you, Al. And
As always.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Goodbye, everybody.
Frontier Embryo Center, where tradition meets innovation in cattle breeding and fertility services. We're more than just a cattle service. We're your partner in elevating your herd's genetics. Our 60-day pregnant reset program and 6-month wean calf program are designed to maximize your genetic potential. With premium reset cows that are always on hand, health tested and selected for their docile and maternal traits, we handle the hard work so you can focus on growing your operation.